71 area, and then look for a reversion play. Because I don't know that it trades up close enough to 80. Maybe there's a playoff of 76 you can work with. It's just not going to be top of list. I think, obviously, like Coin, we'll be trading. I think we'll be trading that. Ideally, we'll be trading some C. Can I do, you know what? Before we throw to you, Obi, I just realized we're not talking about Celsius at all. Yeah. I'm just going to throw out Celsius now because it just occurred to me that we didn't really say anything about this yet. Celsius, big short float. I don't care, this Alani whatever that they're buying, I've never heard of that brand for Celsius, so I don't know anything about it. What I do know is it's a 21% short float that tanked at first when they released their numbers and then ripped faces off and is gapping higher. And the daily chart looks like this. So this is a prior high at 32.5, 33. As long as it holds that off the open, I'm looking for longs on Celsius. And if it doesn't break underneath that low, I'm looking for longs into the bid on CELH. Just wanted to throw that one in there. I know a lot of people are watching that. Thank you very much, Randy. None of us wore. That's what I'm talking about. Let's go. Boom. Connor McDavid. Beast. How we do? It's our sport. It's our sport.
I heard you had some things to say about Rivian earlier. Oh boy.
Are we on?
All right.
I liked the report last night. Between the periods of the game, I was on Reddit just going over the details. Okay, we got a bit of a shutdown in Normal, Illinois, which is normal. It is what it is.
Ordinary.
The only plant they have, Atlanta, is still more than a year away. But if they can get the R2 out the door.
But isn't that the problem? Okay, so the big number that they missed on was the delivery.
Right, and they're going to have lower deliveries potentially this year because of the shutdown to retool for the R2. However, 66,500 Canadian. I want to see reservations. I think we got a hit on our hands. And I like the underlying numbers. Their cash burn's getting slower.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's you.
They've streamlined their supply chain. The vehicle costs are coming down. They're getting there. There's a lot of positivity here. So the market was a bit muted. After hours had a bit of a spike.
Not anymore. It's not.
Yeah. So, give it time. But I really liked the report last night. I'm happy about it.
There you go. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. And that's sort of the thing. Like, there's the fundamental aspect of it. There's the trading aspect of it, which, oddly enough, we can talk about next because it's Rivian.
Yeah, I just want to.
XYZ.
I forget that they changed their name here. Block. Interesting ticker. Again, one of the tickers on watch for earnings on the day, getting a little bit sold off here. But yeah, we've been pretty much sideways for the past couple of months. So this breakdown of this sideways consolidation, we haven't seen some of these prices since prior earnings. So that's going to be interesting. Again, looking for that continuation here on Block. Definitely one of the top names.
This portion of the show brought to you by our friends at Foremost Energy. Unlock the nuclear renaissance with Foremost Clean Energy, leveraging one of the biggest mega trends on the planet. Nuclear energy, partnered with Denison Mines, with properties strategically located throughout the Athabasca Basin, known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium. This undervalued company is poised to capitalize on the exploding nuclear market and offers unparalleled growth potential. The future is nuclear. Foremost is your entry on the NASDAQ, FMST, or here in Toronto on the CSE, FAT is the symbol. Go to foremostenergy.com for more details. Let's talk about Rivian, as the guys were just mentioning. 7.3%, trying to bounce right now. As the guys just said, I mean, it was the forecast, the delivery forecast missing.
Well, yeah, because they got to shut down. So it's going to be a bit of an issue here. Let's talk about how they did. So gross profit, first time ever, Brendo, that they turned a profit of $170 million there. Not a bad look. That's kind of where it all ends a little bit there. Loss per share of 46 cents, beating the street's expectations of 65 penny loss. Revenue came in nicer than expected, about 1.73. The street was looking for 1.4 billion. So not a bad bad look there. Now let's talk about the forecast. That's kind of what we're down for here. They're expecting to deliver about 46,000 to 51,000 vehicles. Compare that to what they delivered this past year, about 51,600 vehicles. So that's a bit of a drop there. Adjusted losses narrowing down from 2.7 billion to about 1.7, so not a bad look there. Capital expenditures, as they continue to grow, expected to be about 1.6 to 1.7 billion in 25. But we want to talk about this R2 because this is really what's going to move the needle for them here. So the R2 is their midsize SUV, expected to launch in 2026. They will have to idle their plant in Illinois in the second half of 2025 for retooling for this R2, hence why the deliveries are coming a little bit low. And last but not least, their strategic growth drivers, Brendo. This has become a software company as much as it is a car company, a hardware company. They made about $300 million in regulatory credits. About $214 million came from software and services, especially with their joint venture with Volkswagen.
If you zoom out a bit on the higher time frame, 1250, pretty good level here. It's trying to hold currently, guys, for Rivian.
Better hold, man, because I'm out. I don't, whatever, man. Like, it's been great at $10 on Rivian. That's been the level to buy. If there is, to the extent that there has been one, let's put it that way. To the extent that there has been one, it's been right in around the 10 level, or when it holds a 50 period and gets above, it's usually been like 11. But the support's down at around $10. I think if it loses, I don't want to be in waiting around. If it loses 12, I think, to have gotten some profit off this the second time through when taking on the first time is a gift. But if we lose this 12 level, then it does mean that we've gone SSR and blown through it. So like it's about 12.20. It'll be 10% down, which lines right up with that support line. So you kind of know where I'm going with this. Like, look at the support at 12.20. If it gets there, it is short sell restricted, where I'm usually looking for an SSR bounce. So that's probably the only early trade, unless you get, like, I wanted to be bearish on this thing and shorting into 13. I think that's exactly the same thing we said about, NU as well. But yeah, SSR bounce off 12, that 12.20 area. That's pretty much the look on Rivian. Don't want to make it too complicated.
Yeah, I think that again, Brendo pointed out as well, that 1250, 12, just shy of that 1250 area, a bit of a shelf consolidation for I guess a good month now, January 23rd to February 13th here, a bit of a consolidation. We're coming in to test some of those areas here. Let's see if some of that support continues to stay as support right away. 1226 kind of showing up as the most recent low there. Currently trading at 1265 is this low right here. Bit of a potential. I mean, if you want to take a look at it as a head and shoulders, maybe a failure to follow through of that range, whatever you want to call it. That low is sitting at 1189. So that $12 level definitely interesting. Let's see if we can get that continuation, Neil, on this earnings report. Again, Randy saying the earnings report wasn't too bad. Price not really reacting too positively to it as of right now, but coming right into the low of that range. So that could definitely be a little bit of a look here. And in terms of, you said it's almost SSR. Well, it's almost SSR right now. These lows coming in at roughly, I guess, 9% down, roughly 9% down from prior day's close. So almost hitting that SSR mark, but just not yet. So Rivian's definitely going to be on watch, as that SSR could come in right at the bottom of that range. That's some confluence for sure.
It could happen right away, yeah.
UNH, if anyone's just joining, a lot of people are. DOJ investigation here into United Health, probing accusations of inflating Medicare diagnosis. Back to 440 here right now. We're actually about to test the lows again, back to 12%. Here we go again for UNH.
Yeah, so I don't know any of the details other than what was reported here, but I was telling you off camera, this is a very well-known thing in the medical field of overbilling and billing for things that are not required. So the Department of Justice is investigating its Medicare billing practices, as you mentioned, Brendo. Specifically, what we're talking about here is how the company documents and diagnoses to receive higher payments for a specific group here, the Medicare Advantage plans. So obviously, this creates a bit of a regulatory headwind, as now you've got the DOJ breathing down your neck. Not a good look after your stocks stock's already been down heavily on the year.
Yeah, it's not been a good couple of months. That is for sure for United Health Group, guys. I mean, maybe some sort of bounce type of play here. I don't know. What are you thinking?
I'm not necessarily feeling the long on that one. Just very quickly, I mean, there's not a lot in terms of imbalance. We'll get some more at 928, but there's probably some people watching QBTS in the quantum space, 600,000 to the buy side. You got NU as a sell of 500,000. There's the big one. Alibaba, 450,000 to the buy side, and trading like it wants to test the 140 level, super strong name lately. So we'll keep an eye on those. But UNH, VWAP, anybody? Like you look at the daily chart, and it's not good. It's not good. There's nothing good about it. Can't pretend. You got the 52-week low sits, 1% away here, and there's a very good chance you're testing that. The gap is tremendous at this point. Back into just the chances that we even get a chance to fill this gap are pretty slim. So I don't think you're looking at 470 like you might have been an hour ago. I think just VWAP. If you're trending to the downside, because I'm not looking long this thing. I'm not thinking bounce. Like I'd rather take a shot bouncing on, like as we said, like Rivian's got a support level that it could hold on to a bounce off of. The report wasn't all that bad. It was just a couple of things amiss there. Like, that's a much more reasonable place for me to look for a long, as opposed to UNH. Even though 10% down, I just don't even care about that. With a story like this, I wouldn't want to be going in the other direction. Like the sentiment, it's not like the space isn't liked right now. Certainly, it's a sentiment shift. You had some strength trying to come into the group, and all of a sudden this happens. So I feel like even if people wanted to be in the healthcare space, they're probably looking for an exit here and wanting to buy strength elsewhere. So I don't want to be on the bid of UNH. We'll just have to look at VWAP for some kind of retracement. But with CLH, Palantir, Rivian, Coinbase out there, NVIDIA, those ones are going to be top of list for me, not UNH.
Yeah, I think no, it's not. I think that 500 break came in on that news. We were consolidating, kind of trading above that, and all of a sudden, straight quadunk through that 500, trading at almost $60 lower there, with a low of 437.71 on UNH. But taking a look at this is a little bit of a continuation of a bigger picture kind of sell-off that we've been having since December of 2024. You can see that strong selling. Again, UNH, I think the selling potentially coming in off of the shooting of the CEO. I think it was in and around there. Might have been in and around there, but yeah, even through earnings right here. So we were holding up that 500 pretty well, even after that strong sell-off in December. But yeah, strong flush as of right now on a DOJ hit on UNH. So taking a look at the bigger picture, let's see what levels we're coming into right here. So prior lows right away, a little bit of a demand area. Wow, back to back. So this was a bit of demand in 2022, and then once again in 23, and then once again in 24. Let's see if it happens once again in 25, Neil.
Once again, let's go quickly to the desk before we have the open.
Very timely here because we were just talking about UNH. I just saw a headline popping out here. Apparently, United Health is calling that Wall Street Journal report about the DOJ investigation, quote, misinformation. So United Health saying that this DOJ investigation is not true and is, in fact, misinformation. Back to you with a minute before the bell.
Okay, I'm going to be hands-off UNH at the open. So how about just that simple? I don't want to be like, hey, let's go shorting VWAP. Well, if there's a question about the story, I'd rather just back off. You have way too much that's available to trade today. We know what Celsius is doing. We saw the report. We saw Alani something. I believe Alani Nu. That's the name of the name of the acquisition. So that's going to be at VWAP. You have a 32.5, which is a big support level. If it holds that, I think it's a chance to grip and rip. Rivian. Wow, Rivian's already bouncing pretty nicely. Maybe we don't get a shot at that 1220 level there on Rivian. You got Palantir, which is breaking back down underneath 108. As there was some talk that maybe they're not cutting as much. And the bell brought to you by Foremost Clean Energy. Shout out to them. Adara, ring it in 2 and 1. Foremost FMST on the Nasdaq. So Rivian already making a little bit of a bounce here. Celsius trying to track
I
lower.
like that spread.
The other thing you should have on your mind today, well, I mean, you can trade things that move if you want to, is don't forget what happened to HIMS, HIMS actually right back at the low, 19% to the downside and continuing lower. It's looking very ugly for HIMS. Crazy reversal, probably trapped some longs in there. So Palantir's heading down. There's a test already of Celsius down to 33.
I don't like the
and a
spread on
half.
Celsius right now.
It's whoa,
kinda
yeah,
nasty.
it's a 20-cent spread.
It was just
Okay.
50 pennies just a second ago, right off of the open.
Yeah,
I was
there's
like,
no-
oh boy,
yeah,
I'm gonna
this
let
is-
that settle down.
No,
let
this
that
needs to
come into
settle down a
anchor.
lot.
Anchored's sitting at $32, Neil. So I think we can be patient for that anchor.
Yeah,
to
that doesn't
potentially
look
come
very
in.
healthy yet.
31.50, 32.50, depending on where you're anchoring it. The earnings reaction versus the volume that actually came in on CELH. A little bit of discrepancy between those two events, but yeah, no, just going to be patient for that CELH to potentially come in. Palantir though is pushing its highs right here. 109's incoming as of right now. I'll waiting for that Celsius to come in here into that 32. What else do we got? Block. The block is not hot right now. Rivian still holding its downtrend as well. What else do we got on here? I was telling Neil, I was like, oh boy, there's a lot of tickers that are on watch. TXN as well. Texas Instruments has been having a very strong run. That's on its way up. 205.65s currently right now. But like I've been saying all week, I'm going to stay patient for the right kind of opportunities. Next week is one of the bigger earnings, and NVIDIA is definitely something I am more than willing to put some risk on. What's up, Adara?
Just be aware here, some Chinese ADR is pretty strong off the open. One of them is Alibaba hanging out here above that 144 level. And then we have Li Auto. Basically, a lot of the strength in this Chinese ADR space has to do with the Chinese tech bull run recently. So we know that the Hang Seng Index did very well yesterday, continued to make these 3-year highs. Check out Li, Baba, and all of these Chinese tech names. Back to you.
Thank you very much. Just getting a whole bunch of TradingView alerts right now. Okay, so
XYZ's popping. I want to get a fade in that if I can, but not yet. Celsius is still going to be on the mind. Like Celsius a lot here, and it did just break. It just broke 33, tracking into that 32.5. That's where I wanted to try and grab. That grab is also on the move. So if we don't get a retest in 32.5, don't mind taking this on like a V shape if it can hold VWAP. But as long as it's weak, we'll have to be patient and wait for that bid to start to come in. Here is Palantir, everybody. That tried to break out and a little bit of a fade. So this is the worry. Remember, we didn't break 110 yesterday. 110 was that big anchored. We didn't break it. We fell from here. If you don't break out the 110, I don't want to be looking at any long that isn't a deep reversion long. So I want to see this breaking the 110 level. Otherwise, we have to, like I said, we have to be a little bit patient with it. Rivian's definitely a missed opportunity, though. As that one, it's already at 13, so you had to take this in the pre-market clearly. Adara?
Beware of CrowdStrike here. CRWD, this one dropped around 9 a.m. I'm just seeing some talks here in the Catalyst about this. So back in 2023, there was an agreement between CrowdStrike here for a $32 million deal here with Carahsoft. Basically, through this deal, CrowdStrike was going to be selling cyber tools to the IRS. However, we first heard reports of this back in 2024. Now more reports that we're going to get an investigation here from the DOJ and the SEC because the IRS actually is showing zero evidence of having bought this software, even though Carahsoft is paying CrowdStrike on time. So basically, long story short, Bloomberg reporting that the DOJ and the SEC are investigating this CrowdStrike Carahsoft IRS deal because it doesn't seem like the IRS is actually getting the software it's allegedly paying for. Back to you.
Boy. Here's the 32 mark on CELH, and we are cracking lower aggressively. Let me pull up the tape for you guys here, because I know some of the tape on the main screen is it tends to get kind of delayed here. So CELH, this is the book right here on CELH. 31.74 is a little bit of reserve. Wow, that reserve breaks and drops down another 30 pennies. Now there's an offer.
Oh, that's nice.
Offer on the ask right there. So let me just actually, I gotta highlight this right here for you guys. Boom, boom, boom. There it is, above 99. So there you go. There's it highlighted. And
Halted.
CELH is halted to the downside. Absolutely wild.
What?
That is crazy.
Was that?
That is crazy.
That's not enough.
Halted down. That is absolutely beautiful. This is
Hold up.
This is very interesting, Neil.
That's not
This is the first time that I've seen an earnings opening drive halted down. So,
You know what?
boy.
I don't mean to be speechless, but that seems a little fugazi. It didn't look like it shouldn't have been at the band already, but it is halted. So I'm assuming it's going to be a volatility halt. I was about to double check if it was a volatility halt, but this is the cost of looking at CELH for the mean reversion was kind of. Like Rivian pulled right into that 13, right into that prior high. I tried to get on the way back down here, but Rivian pulling back, it ran like a buck from the open and then pulling right back in. So we tried to grab that one to the south side. NVIDIA is breaking out, by the way. So CLH volatility halt. The tap on CLH is 30.40. So it's indicating $1 lower on CLH. You've got NVIDIA running. Now I liked NVIDIA a little bit deeper on a dip, but we only want NVIDIA longs given the strength that we've seen off of some of these bids. So it is looking pretty strong. Have to look back at VWAP. Yeah, not the price action I was expecting on CLH, unfortunately, but it's a nasty, nasty one. That should be a 5-minute halt, everybody. I'm expecting CLH will open up orderly in 5 minutes.
This is very, very.
So you just gotta,
really
you gotta look for the next opportunity. I feel like we might have had a shot at NVIDIA, but you know, I was looking somewhere else and we were looking at CLH, and that was the first place I wanted to trade today, and it's just not going to happen. Palantir, got to move on to the next. Palantir, again, trying to test this high and without breaking it, so it's not getting to 110. It's stopping at 109. I shouldn't say the word halting. It's stopping at 109. If we cannot break this out, I only want to look short setups under 110, and if you can break 110, then look long. So nothing's really hitting the levels with the exception of that Rivian curl, which we weren't able to grab and just wasn't fast enough with it. But that's all right. We can be patient with it. We still have a couple more minutes until CLH opens back up. Now the tap is a more reasonable 31 even, it's indicating on Celsius.
crazy,
So
right?
now up 23%.
That is a.
Yeah, that was nasty, man. There's no doubt about
Yeah,
it.
no.
That was nasty.
I think some of the guys talking about how that wasn't even a 10% drop, and I was like, maybe they're taking prices off of 9 o'clock. They're like, no,
let me double
you don't take prices before the open, but the market's coming in real hot, and CLH is a momentum. It's a LUD piece.
Yeah, it's a
LUD piece. So limit up, down.
I mean, volatility halt.
Something.
It's,
I forget what the P stands for, but the LUD is limit up.
the market's
down.
tanking right here.
I'm pretty sure, but the market is definitely tanking to the downside here. Let's see what is looking distinctly different. HIMS continuing to push lower. $50 coming in on HIMS right here. So $50, an interesting potential level here, but I wasn't even looking at it, so I'm not even going to pull it up as of right now. But
Palantir's about to break the low.
Maybe some opportunities on hand. What's up, Adara?
UNH actually bouncing pretty nicely here, even as the market falls. In case you missed it, initially we did have some reports here from the Wall Street Journal suggesting that there is going to be a DOJ, or there is a DOJ investigation into UNH, specifically its Medicare practices. Then right before the open, UNH comes out and they say that this report is, quote, misinformation. So bit of a bounce here at the open for UNH. Also be aware we have some economic data today at 9:45, so in about 5 minutes, we're going to be getting S&P services, manufacturing, and composite PMI. Then at 10, we're going to get probably the more closely watched number, the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment. Key among these is going to be the 1-year and 5-year inflation expectation prints as part of this number. We know that those did push the market down last time when they came in higher than expected. So stay tuned. 10 a.m. and then 9:45. Back to you.
To break the low at 107 here. It tried to break the high. It couldn't do it, so we're still underneath the 110 level. If we're underneath 110, it's short setups only, so either maybe we get a VWAP one or we break out this low. We've got pretty much a few seconds here until CELH opens up. Palantir might break this 107 like right away, but CLH should open up in just a little bit. If it doesn't open up in like the next little bit, then that's going to mean CLH is like a 10-minute halt instead of a 5-minute. But I'm expecting it's going to open up orderly in a couple of seconds here. So Palantir broke the low. You've got support in theory down at the 105 level, and we saw what it did with this at the open yesterday. You had 105, 106, or 106 was the support level earlier. So CLH is open.
Opens at 30.
And opens at $30 on CLH.
God.
So I'm just going to get an order out here on Palantir
What
to
is
scalp
going
them out,
on?
and then take you guys over to CELH Celsius. opens at 30 and actually running higher. Ooh, this could be an interesting, if it tries to relief rally through the pre-market. It's all about that halt level, I think, Obi. If it can break back out the halt level, you can squeeze. Otherwise, they are rugging CELH right now, and the market now red. So the Nasdaq is red.
Does the ticker have like a
CLH
20% short float?
nasty, 20.3 or 20.4% short float here on CLH.
boy.
Well, I can tell you this much: the shorts are laughing to the bank. They did not hold many bids, except for that 30 level starting to hold right now. Obi, just one quick update: Palantir, which is the only thing we got in, broke that 07. Now remember, there's theoretical support down here at the 105 level, so I'd like to see it maybe push through that, but we scalped the first out of it. We're going to look to see if it can get down to that 105 and then take some profit on it. NVIDIA is still looking strong, but with the market coming in the way it is, I want to be sure that we get a good buy opportunity. I want to dip buy in NVIDIA today, but when you're doing this off the open, you don't want to be too early buying dips. So let's just stick with the one short. Palantir now $1 and hunting for that 105 level here on Palantir. CLH is holding 30 pretty decently here, Obi.
Yeah, no, I'm watching it. I hesitated punching into it a couple of times because I'm like, I keep seeing these continuous wipes into the bid, and I'm like, I don't know. But you know what? It's okay. I'll be a little bit more patient here, but we did reclaim that 31 as of right now. That was a good long as of right now, as we held and stalled some at some of those prices at 30.50. Here we go, breaking back through that halt.
Whoa,
price
what a
needle.
bid.
So yeah, absolutely wild. Let's see if we can get there. This is in and around that anchored VWAP from earnings as well, right? We're doing some interesting action just orbiting around that anchored as well on CELH.
Oh, but you're not gonna. This doesn't make logical sense. But there was a bid of like you saw that when it levitated on CLH up like almost $1. It was hard to even see. At the exact same moment, and I'm telling you, was at the exact same moment, Palantir bounced 105.30 right to 106. And like we slammed back down. I was like, okay, let's take this one out. I actually wanted to go over to CLH in a second, but I just punched out a Palantir when it bounced off the target area, like I showed you. I wanted to break here, and I wanted to, if it bounces there, I'm going to get out and hunt for the reshort. I am in Rivian off of 13, and if we bounce in Palantir, I'll short it again. But that CELH is absolutely wild. If you halt down and break this out, it's over. Like that would be nasty. It's a pretty bullish move to halt down and then take out the top. So if it can maintain some higher lows in here, this gets pretty exciting. It's not there yet. I mean, we're not even at VWAP on Celsius, but you're now right back above that key price level. Wanted to see strength at 32.5, 33.
Oh boy.
If we show that, let's go. It's not yet. I think it's an opportunity, but you know, don't want to throw everything away on a downward trending stock just because it has a short float, right?
Yes, no, I think that's true. Another ticker that I'm watching while I wait for CELH to settle down here is Unity. Unity also consolidating as well. Shout out to Sharif for having that trade. I saw him; he was getting excited, and I was like, oh wow, are we about to halt up? We're about to halt up. Oh, that was a halt band right here on 3270s. If we hit that once again, we are going to halt up on CELH there, but we did pull back a little bit here. Absolutely exciting stuff here. Did not expect that kind of action on something like CELH right off of the open here. Here's the 70s again. The halt band is at 75s right now, I think, but with the way it's kind of holding on the offer, might just be. See, the thing is, we don't have those halt bands, but again, halt.
It's at the band right now.
This is the halt band. Yeah, this is very distinct tape. This is what a halt band looks like when you're hitting it. It's all.
Come to me. This is what it looks
Nobody
like.
Can. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like it's easier to see right here. It's going to go into a halt at 32.74.
Right there. There's the halt. There's the.
So this is gonna.
Right
This
there.
might
You
end
still
up.
in?
This might end up pretty simple, because depending on where we open up on CLH, it could just be a long over the halt price in that 32.5. So it's right. It's now reclaimed the zone that we wanted to, but it's in a halt. It's an upward halt. If it maintains this price, I think it's game over. I think we gotta. And sometimes you get real lucky, and all I can tell you is I punched out of Palantir because of a move up in CLH that simultaneously drove this up. Palantir dipped at the open and is doing it again, and then the big time bounce. If it holds VWAP, you can start thinking long, but I'm not jumping into the short, partly because we got a number coming out right now, Adara.
We do have numbers, and in just 2 seconds, we're going to be getting some S&P PMI data. Okay, so S&P Services PMI, 49.7. That is below estimates of 53. Manufacturing PMI, 51.6, slightly above estimates of 51.4. S&P Composite PMI coming in at 50.4, below estimates of 53.2. So just to recap, we have S&P Services and Composite PMI below estimates, quite significantly so. Then S&P Manufacturing PMI slightly above estimates. And the market not reacting too much, bouncing a little bit here. We have the cues with some bottoming tail candles on the 3-minute. Again, just to remind you all, the bigger economic number, or the more closely watched one anyway, will be coming at 10 a.m. with the Michigan Consumer Sentiment print and its inflation component, so the 1-year and 5-year inflation expectations. The inflation numbers, as of more recently, have been more likely to move the market. We'll also get the existing home sales at 10 a.m. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adair. There's a lot going on right now. Got to go over, just quickly show you guys the reaction of the futures there before I talk about SMCI. You held overnight lows and you're bouncing on the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ's still red, obviously, but a little bit of a bounce starting to happen and starting to come in here. SMCI, I know it's been a big mover. It wasn't at the top of the list, but goes right into yesterday's top and fades it again. So double top on this yesterday, right here at 62.5. Same thing again. If one squeezes, maybe they all can. That's my first thought. So Palantir, sometimes it's like that. It was a short to long yesterday, and maybe it was a much shorter-lived short today into a long. I was looking short, so we got in and we got out. And then, look, it is what it is. How many times have you seen me, like, I'll get out of the move like that, and then it goes $5 lower, so it's like your style is your style, and then sometimes you just end up looking good. Rivian, we're still in it. Still under the 13 level, basically shorting the lower high in here off of 13 even. As long as that holds, I think we play it into the low, although I have not been able to add to this position at any point yet. So it's holding on to this lower high very well. It's not really flushing. It's also not really giving me any re-entry points here. Let me just get a bid out in front of the 60s. So we're locked and loaded because CELH should be open in just under 2 minutes. We'll have CELH opening back up. So Palantir starting to gun. We showed you guys that double top there in SMCI. And then CELH should open in a couple of minutes here. Celsius in an up halt, indicating 32, actually a flat open. Now actually down. Now it's indicating 32.50. So it was indicating flat. Now it's indicating a little bit to the downside on the reopen.
Yeah, just got to keep watching that. I have the last print here, Neil, at 9:44 and 13 seconds. So if it is a 5-minute halt, we should see it right at 49.13 as well. So it's 48, about a minute left until that. I'm watching Unity as well. Unity slowly grinding to the upside as well. We did crack through that $30 mark with some significant size as well, but still chopping and churning in and around that. I don't expect it to just fly right away. Like if you look at the action yesterday, it was just a slow, kind of a methodic grind all the way up. So maybe looking for dips to get involved in a little bit later. But yeah, no, I'm just kind of like I said, I hesitated hitting that 31 push back through, and then I guess that halt price 31.5 was definitely a little bit of an add there as price continued to push up there on CELH. But I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna wait for it to settle down. Let's see if it can get out of this halt fest here on CELH here. I'm gonna go out on a limb there and say this is probably the most eventful earnings ticker on the day today. I don't really see anything else that's doing anything crazy. Sure, things are making a move.
Well,
Block is selling off.
Block's not having a very good day.
Yeah, Block continues to sell off. A little bit of red there on Block. Rivian continues to hold its pre-market trend. What else do I have on watch here? At SMCI.
Open.
SMCI is back at that 60. It's open now on CELH. So maybe that squeeze we were looking for with that over 20% short float might be. We might be poised for that. But this is also VWAP. Yeah, this is also VWAP as well. So let's be a little patient for this one here. 32.70 still trading at, and VWAP's just shy of that 33 mark right there. So I'm going to be a little patient. We've halted down once and then halted up once here on CELH, but still holding this $30 area, still holding some of these levels here from prior prior days, not prior days session, but the overnight action off of the earnings reaction right there. So this is kind of what I'm looking at right here. We did come in to 30, right here, 32.60s trading right now. We did reclaim that anchored
no
view up
break.
from earnings as well. So I want to see a little bit more distinct action there. Oh boy, there's Unity blasting to the upside there. Absolutely wild. So
How's
there
that
goes
story gonna
Unity.
be
Yeah, I know.
true?
I wasn't expecting it to move like that. As soon as I say it, it starts to blast through its highs there. So a bit of a miss on that one, but I'll wait. I'll wait for.
Don't give up. Don't give up on Celsius yet. We're back to
no,
32 and a
I'm not.
half. It's clawing a little bit higher. It might still break out that 33. Rivian, I'll be out of Rivian at the low. And let me just, if you weren't tuning in earlier, I don't even know what that word was I just said. This is the bottom for the last little bit on Rivian. It's about 12.15 at 12.20. It's been an absolute brick wall of support. And I'm looking for some kind of like a short sell restricted 10% down bounce off that level. So the short goes to there. That's the plan of action. I like the station to station. That's the range I want for the short trade. There's always a trade after that in theory, but for now, it's about 30 pennies in the money. I have a bid down there already to try to get out. And Celsius, I think it wants to do it. I think it can. Maybe it'll break 33. Now, granted, if it fails a break at 33, there's all the possibility in the world it could halt down. So if it doesn't work right away, like I'm expecting if it breaks 33 to be getting filled at 34 pronto or in front of 34. So if it doesn't work right away, I want to give it to the prior halt price. And if it loses that, who cares? That's not a lot of risk. It's a breakout trade. I don't like breakout trades in stocks that have already halted in each direction because as far as I'm concerned, if you try to hold it or average into it, you might ruin your entire day. So it's going to be a very tight stop on this potential breakout. And I actually like something that's going on in NVIDIA as well. So CLH will take the break, tight stop. NVIDIA, double bottom, double wick bottom. It's not super strong because the market's not super strong, but there's one wick, there's two, right in front of that 139. So let's see if 139 can hold as the market trends back in. I like that kind of support level. For now, Rivian looking okay. Palantir, not reloading it yet. And CLH has my attention because any second this thing could break out 33. So I can't get away from that level too.
Yeah, I think again, I'm gonna keep my hands off as of right now. I'm watching both the Unity and CLH kind of main ones on watch right now. Some of the other ones are banks. We kind of talked about a potential continuation on the banks, seeing as how aggressively they were sold off yesterday, and XLF. It is continuing a little bit to the downside as of right now, 51.29s on XLF. So yeah, some solid action here, solid continuation. Unity a lot stronger than I expected it to be, and so is CELH. But I'm going to stay patient. I'm going to wait for that snipe moment to show up, and then maybe potentially take a little bit of an entry there. What's up, Adara?
Keep an eye on a couple different tickers here. We have OSRH. This company's OSR Holdings. Again, not a lot of info in this stock. As I mentioned, on Wednesday, it looks like they were a special acquisition, business combination type situation as of February 18th, but a 2 billion share float nonetheless. We also have INOD. This is, InnoData and INOD here pushing up higher here after day one earnings. They do have a 17% short float and they beat on their EPS and sales estimates. Pretty strong guidance too for INOD and again, OSRH. Also on watch. 5 minutes until University of Michigan. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Adara. And Unity is absolutely flying. So shout out to everyone that's mentioning that. CLH, I'd say it's a bit of a disappointment because there was probably a big missed opportunity off of that bottom that had to be really quick to catch. But Unity, super strong. It's a blue sky setup for Unity. There's your daily chart. I mean, 2850 is in the rear view. You don't have much until you try to break like 31.5 into 32. So there's not a lot standing in its way except for how parabolic it is relative to a weak market. That's about it. I think maybe you forget about VWAP on days where it's really strong, but it's respecting it so far. So why not at least look for that? I just noticed that you're catching a bid in Rivian here. Yeah, like it was cruising to the low, and I'm bidding underneath the low instead of in front of it. So yeah, cruising toward the low, which I want to get out in front of the pre-market low. But maybe we get a VWAP reentry. I'm still waiting at 13s, which I don't think makes any sense anymore. So I'll just get rid of that and not all of the orders. and just hang on to Rivian for the time being. Palantir did not go all the way and retest the high, but we took a breakdown trade after it failed the top. So kind of a failed top breakout, break support at the open, bounced right off the first place you might suspect it would, and then a lower high got put in. So it's not entirely clear VWAP is anything right now in Palantir. So I'm going to stay away from re-entry there. CLH, I keep having to look over at it because it's still above 32, and that 33 break, the stock to move 50 cents and break out the top is not going to take a heck of a lot. So if you see me, I'm just going to keep glancing over there to be ready for it. But with this weakness coming in the market, here comes that NVIDIA into 139. So those are the stocks I'm tracking. 33 break on CELH, hanging on to Rivian, looking for the low of the day. That short's working. Palantir, I'd like to reshort it at the high, or I guess I'd break out 110 if it got there, and NVIDIA 139, which has yet to actually print.
Yeah, I think I did get a little involved here on Unity as it started to slow down a little bit here. But let's see if the slowdown is enough to take us back into VWAP, or are we going to push right back to those highs there? But yeah, very, very strong action here on Unity. Did not expect it to push up that aggressively right off of the bat here. But yeah, okay, so we're getting a little bit of a pullback here into the $30 level. 30.25s currently right here on Unity. So I'm going to start covering a little bit here. I still don't want to fight the trend. The moving average currently is sitting at 30.08s. So let's see if we can get down into that $30 mark here, or do we pop right back up? That is my question as of right now. So I'm kind of just layering out some quick covers there. I did get a little aggressive there, but not aggressive enough. I was getting ready to double up, Neil, on the break of that trend, on the pushback through the 60, and then it just cracks into the 50s, and I'm like, oh boy, now I got to put on like 20 pennies more worth of risk. I'm not willing to double down in that situation, but yeah, let's see how far this can get here. But holding trend, pretty nice. Don't necessarily want to fight it too aggressively as of right now, but yeah, if it continues to catch the bid on top of its moving average, now sitting at 30.16. Again, I'm not looking to execute on the moving average, but I'm just looking for it to respect that area there. And if it's going to continue doing that, then I don't want to stay involved with that. Again, we talk about counter trending there. I do have to be a little bit more nimble when I am trying to catch a bit of that counter trend, Neil. So let's see how well this one goes. We're coming right back into those 30.50s as of right now. So Unity, a little bit of a scalp there. CLH, I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for it to potentially come in here.
It's really calmed down.
Yeah, it's very like this is what I was waiting for. Okay, you're gonna do a crazy shake and bake off the open. Go for it. I'm gonna wait for you to kind of cool off and take it from there. So.
All right. Oh, we just got. All right. No, I didn't want to get back in. Let's just get out flat. So Rivian just came back in. Two things. I'll get to this in a second, but we got to get to the execution first, always. So Rivian broke the prior high. I must have still had an order out. Anyways, I got actually in and out for a penny after getting out of the last of the short for a hit. We took the short on Rivian. It'll be good, but not great because we wanted that big follow through. Remember, this is a stock that's bouncing off big levels on the daily. So if it takes out the top, I'm not fighting this thing short. You can probably see the next place I'd try to play it. Got the line at 1380, so we'd wait for that. You're still CELH bound for this 33 break. Like, there's still a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, I'm saying there's a chance. It's trying to, like, look how long it's held this consolidation. I get it. I'm staring at a stock that's not moving, and it's frustrating. But I feel like when you halt down and then break out the top on a highly shorted name, I just want to have that shot in me if we're able to get it. Palantir, I wanted to quickly give you guys Palantir because this is, yeah, it didn't get to the top. It didn't consolidate under VWAP. It just dumped. So Palantir, it's weak, but I didn't find a re-entry into it. So as Obi said, just got to be a little bit patient.
Yeah.
That'll be a little bit more clean. Like after that rinse of the bottom, a retest of the high felt like it made more sense on Palantir. Now we just got to think VWAP because I don't really want to take breakdowns at this time of day. It's 10 o'clock. I want to try to respect opening ranges if we can. So we'll see about this Palantir, but I got a short pop next time through. Dara?
10 seconds until the University of Michigan consumer sentiment print. So we're going to be looking here for the sentiment number. We're expecting 67.8. We're also going to be looking here at the 1-year and 5-year inflation expectations because the 1-year inflation expectation last time came well above estimates. Okay, here we go. So 1-year inflation, 4.3% versus 4.3% expected, in line. However, now the 5-year coming in above estimates. So 3.5% versus 3.3%. So slightly more inflation expected here on the 5-year time frame. Then we get a much lower than expected consumer sentiment print here, 64.7 versus 67.8 expected. Then the other print we got here was existing home sales, a little bit below expectations, 4.08 million versus 4.13 million expected. And then negative 4.9% here for the existing home sales month-over-month change. So just to recap, in line for 1-year inflation expectations, slightly above estimates here for the 5-year, well below estimates for University of Michigan sentiment, and then below estimates here for home sales. And we got a bit of right now it looks like a bottoming tail candle here for the NASDAQ, likely reacting a little bit lower initially on that weaker than expected consumer sentiment print. Lots of earnings on watch here. We've heard Obi and Neil talk about Celsius, talk about Rivian, talk about XYZ. There's also some acquisition-related catalysts for Celsius and Hims. But the other catalyst here is actually a lot of DOJ investigations. UNH here reportedly being investigated by the DOJ, though they've already called it misinformation. And CrowdStrike also reportedly facing investigations from the DOJ and the SEC. Then another thing to watch out for is going to be any name with the Chinese ADR-related names here. We know that China tech bull run has really been continuing. So Baidu, Baba, JD, any of the EV names out of China, certainly on watch. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Dara. Yeah, so that economic number not really giving us too much there, and that reversion on Unity worked out quite nicely here. The reversion to VWAP. So this is what I was talking about. I just wanted to wait for that snipe and got a little lucky with that snipe. Again, gotta do a little bit better with getting in on the right side. I'm like, I see it start to slow down.
You got it on the right side.
And technically, not on the chart I didn't. Look, we can go down to the 1 minute here.
NVIDIA's breaking trend for anybody out there.
A little bit more here. Actually, did I post? I think I might have posted at, you know what, I'll take that off. I'm gonna leave a breadcrumb on for VWAP there out of more than 95% of that right there. So yeah, there's a lot of covers. But yeah, look, actually, you know what, Neil? It's questionable. It's questionable. Is this the right side? I got to go down to a shorter time. I got to go down to a shorter time frame. But technically, maybe it is the right side. You got to see if I punched in after this high was
Looks
made.
like the right
I got
side
in on the candle that did make the high because I was just watching it. But it did tick against me, right? It did tick against me back up to 86s. I held about 20 pennies against me, which maybe wasn't the best there, but yeah, we're still like I said, we're still holding this trend. This is just a quick reversion scalp here. I don't know if we're gonna get all the way down to VWAP here. I think I initially posted an order to cover some down here at 29.60s, and then when we kind of stalled on the 30 level, I'm like, all right, I got to start really kind of covering in and around here because we did go down to the 90s. We print, I think it was 90 something there. What is that low? I got to make sure. The low was, okay, so the low was 83. So the rebid was quite aggressive back into the 90s. And I'm like, all right, well, I have to aggressively kind of pull back in. But waiting for the reload, waiting for the next trade. Where is the next trade?
Before Dara, we're going to go to Dara in a quick second. NVIDIA is trying to break trend and hold VWAP. So it double tapped 139, put in a higher low. It's breaking the trend, got long. Wrong end, right end, playing it higher. Rivian also double top now at 13.20. If it fails that, I'm going to try to go short. Adara.
So we have a catalyst for Apple. For some context, back in a couple of weeks ago, around February 7th, we did get some reports suggesting that the UK had basically ordered Apple through a backdoor order to allow it to spy on users' encrypted accounts. Now we're seeing apparently here reports that Apple has pulled its cloud encryption feature after this backdoor order, specifically pulling it in the UK. So after we had this order for the UK to basically, I guess, get access to encrypted accounts through a backdoor order for Apple, now Apple pulling that feature in the UK, guys. Again, just a report right now. But back to you.
Yeah. So I know Sharif likes that. You know what I don't like? Okay, so NVIDIA's starting to work, but Celsius, all right, it's time to just cancel the order in Celsius. This is the thing. Like, I really wanted it to break. I felt like with the halt down and the halt up, you had an opportunity that this could have been a big time squeeze play. But in order for something to squeeze, it's got to punk the shorts. And the shorts are winning in CLH right now. So the best sometimes that you can do when you're looking for a long is that it never gives it to you and you don't take it, because unless you had the long off the reopen, there hasn't been one on this stock. So, the best I can do is not be in the stock. And that's about it. There's still a chance it could put in a higher low from now, but you got to move on to the next. Nvidia actually ran into a seller at 140.40 here and the $0.50. So I was getting one out there, and then the second I saw that wick, I'm like, take another out. Let's see if it holds the higher low. I still have it under prior bar bottom, which is 139.80. My stop is under that level. So I have a chance that I can reload this after taking some out, but you're still in a downward trend with no upward candles in the market. So the Nasdaq's all red candles since the open. I want to respect that, and I'm not going to reload something on a trend break. If it's a trend break and then it loses the bid or loses VWAP, I'm just going to take it out. BABA seems like it's incredibly strong as well. We have not looked at Alibaba or JD. I know they're having good days again. I love you, Alibaba. Let's go.
Oh my God. There's the.
Yeah, this one's a home run.
Baba's
And,
going. Yeah, I know.
I'm telling you, I have a
We both know somebody who's on.
No, I had a
this
trail. I have a trail on this on my Alibaba down from like the 80s.
It's
and I'm
going.
thinking 180. I don't know if you're into darts. You have to be into darts to be able to get that one. Let's go to Adara.
Keep an eye here on FUTU. Really strong here. Futu Holdings. This one, not a small cap. This is another Chinese ADR related play. So Futu, really strong. About $130 right now, pushing to the upside. It's worth noting, too, this one is, again, not a small cap, but a $12 billion $12 billion market cap. There's also MLGO on watch here. Micro Algo, this one trying to make new day's highs here, except for this wicking candle. So nice push to the upside for Micro Algo. Repeat runner with, I believe, about a 7% short float. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, CLH has ended up being a really good short.
Unity.
Really good short. Break VWAP?
Down at VWAP. And you know what I did well today, Neil? Remember yesterday I was like, I had a bit of an issue. I'm just like, even if it's 1% of the position, I have to put in the rep for holding the position.
Got to take it serious every time.
Doesn't matter. I think that's a very safe way to do it. Okay, I feel like the trade is done. I cover almost everything. Leave on 1 to 10% of the position, and just let it show you. Let it work, so that I can get better at holding even more percent of the position next time for that for that push. And yeah, VWAP on Unity. I didn't expect it in the moment that we were at the 30, but I was definitely wrong. And right now we're testing 2960s, 2970s, give or take, whatever. We're in the VWAP area now on Unity. Now again, why did I have Unity on watch today? Because, well, yesterday it was very, very strong. So we can take a quick look at the chart there. And yeah, I just took a quick little reversion there. Off of yesterday's action. Again, yesterday was earnings day 1. Today's earnings day 2. Very, very strong move, opening at the lows and closing near the highs. And we got that continuation off the open today, but a bit of a reversion back down into VWAP. As of right now, where's the next trade? I have no idea, but right now we're going to go off to Adara.
Keep an eye here on MOMO or Momo. The company is called Hello Group. This one, not a ton of volume in it yet, about 500,000 shares, but trying to break out. It is a Chinese ADR, and it's a small cap, about a $1 billion market cap. Along with this MOMO, it's worth noting MLGO, which I just mentioned earlier. I was incorrect. It's an 18% short float on this name, and it's also a Chinese ADR, though right now they're pretty heavily rejecting that $4 level. Back to you.
Very quickly before we take care of some business, we're back. We were back into Nvidia. It took out the low. Did not reload it because I didn't want to reload the stock with the market looking weak. But it is now holding that higher low. Thought maybe if you could dip into 139, you'd be able to get a better price because we're long it at that 140 level. But doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Celsius is being Celsius, and Palantir. Celsius being Celsius, meaning it's not doing anything. It's gliding slowly to the downside. Palantir can't seem to get back to a 107. To retest prior day high in VWAP, where I'd like to be trying to short on PLTR. But it hasn't broken the low, so it's very much available for us. And shout out to everybody that's interested in saving money, because President's Day savings are still here. Get 22% off at Trade Ideas on all new subscriptions with the code Trader TV 22. But wait, there's more. Upgrade the premium annual and snag a massive 28% off with code TraderTV28. That's right, huge savings happening right now. Head to the 2025 President's Day sale landing page, link below, and do not miss out. Shout out to Trade Ideas, because that's what it's all about. It's about finding the trades, finding the opportunities, being on the right stocks. Like I would venture to say I haven't had an execution in CLH today. It sucks, but you know, I think it was the right stock to be watching because the opportunities were going to be explosive. So ultimately, there is some opportunity cost in that. I probably miss at least one trade in Palantir because of it, because it stayed underneath 110. You know, 110 is the level for me. As long as it doesn't break that resistance underneath, I want short setups and as many as we could possibly get. So I probably missed one. I missed something in there. We'll look for that VWAP retrace if we're able to get it. Not sure that's going to be the case. Oh, mean reversion again on Rivian. And I did the thing that you said, where you're like, I don't want to make sure I'm getting in on the back end, not the front end. Where I had Rivian on the front end and then kind of punch out right away because you've taken it too early. Now it's breaking the trend line on Rivian. So we had Rivian off of VWAP, and then we tried it again at 13, and then we tried it off the high, kind of tight stops in there. But now I think you're breaking the trend to jump back in to this one. Oh, silly CLH. I'm not taking that one off my level 2. Because as long as it's around 32, it's putting in a higher low. We're getting into a Rivian again, now that it's trying to break the trend, and we'll again just give it to the high, relatively tight stops. But CLH, I think I can. I'm taking a 33 break.
Yeah,
that's the level. It was 32 half to 33 that I was thinking for an entry, and it's consolidating right underneath it. So I got to have that break. It's a big squeeze name. There's a really decent chance like that either rinses and halts down, or we're getting to the top real quick. And as long as you have a good stop order in there, I think it's worth a shot.
Yeah, no, it's funny where CLH is consolidating in a very tight range here. Would you want to take a guess as to where, Neil? Right on the anchored. Right on the anchored. Now, anchored again, like I said, it was a little finicky there where you really want to put your anchor. Also, another thing on CLH, absolutely beautiful action that I do want to point out before we kind of talk about that. Look at this beautiful downtrend break. We broke this downtrend, so technically, if you got long off of technicals here on a trend break, on a pullback hold of that trend, where that trend resistance turns into trend support. Maybe, I don't know, trends resistance turned into support. But yeah, look at that. Nice little push, right? Off of that 24, right? And we come in on the earnings report, we grab that. We talk about lick grabs, and what a beautiful grab of that trend that was, and a push all the way up to 30. So kind of giving that follow through on the technicals. That's why I love technicals so much. Sometimes, I don't know, is it the question always arises, is it which came first, the chicken or the egg? But like, you know, sure, there was a catalyst involved. There's earnings, right? Earnings, good or bad. We don't know how the market can react. They actually missed on their EPS, but they beat on their revenue. So I don't know which way the ticker is going to go, but the price action is very, I guess I say this all the time, it speaks in volumes. So literally, so you can see break and hold of that trend on expanding volume happens to be off of earnings as well. So absolutely solid kind of play there. But yeah, so the anchored is what we were talking about here. So anchored, again, like you can see here on TradingView, the volume comes in on this candle at 4:30, but you can see price already starts to move a little erratically a little earlier at 4:06. So that's where I have my anchored kind of anchored to. And right now you can see that anchored price is 31.91. There's a couple different ways you can do this. You can take it off the lows where the buyers came in, and that'll give you 32.07, right? Still, technically, still consolidating in and around that area. Or you can just go to the volume candle and be like, all right, I don't really care about all the volume that traded before the actual report and before the actual volume, because maybe you're thinking most of the participants got in after that. So if you anchor it to that, take a look at that. Now we're holding, now a little bit of a different perspective. So the average weighted volume price since that volume, we're kind of holding that as a little bit of a resistance at 32.46. So yeah, a little bit of a discrepancy depending on where you put that anchored and what participants you're looking for, right? So as of right now, holding as resistance against some of the volume that came in on the report coming out at 16:30. That's 4:30 there. But yeah, holding within that range and consolidating at another couple of anchors here. So this hold of price, this narrowing, this compression, whatever you want to call it, is definitely interesting. Let's see where CELH blasts off of this one. Oh my God, Neil.
It's over. It's over.
Unity is at $29.
You can't sing it when it's going down.
That's a point and a half. And
You
I'm
only
like,
do that when it's going up.
I cover
down.
everything at 50 pennies, Neil. I covered over 90% of my position at about 50, 60 pennies. Absolutely. Woosah.
It's
okay.
But you know what,
Next
though?
trade. But you know what? I did well holding on to a piece.
My perspective, which is that's the most important thing.
Very small, like breadcrumb.
You've gotta remember.
It's insignificant.
You gotta
but
remember, Obi.
It's the rep that I put in.
When you don't get out of, sometimes when you take that trade at like the support level or whatever it might be, you're like, oh, it looks like an absolute genius out. And other times it looks like, oh, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I'll grant you, I said this a million times, at least 4 out of every 5 days in a given trading week, I'm only using the example that I have so I can tell you, I'll do this to see the stock do that. And I'm like, oh my goodness. But you got to follow your rule and your style. And if a reversion is a reversion to VWAP,
Yeah.
then that's the play.
Hold 50%
Like, look
to
at,
VWAP.
I'm not even,
that's
okay,
the-
this candle just happened. I'm not even making this up. Rivian, reversion, VWAP, right back to the top. So if you don't get most of it out there, it's more about like what happens if you just do the same action 100% of the time on the play, like what's it overall going to do? Because if that 10%, if it's, the idea is it's a positive expectancy. As long as you do what's going to be the positive expectancy in your trading style, you're going to be okay. But then there's that 5-10% where you don't follow your rule and it works out for you. That's where you can get into trouble.
Oh, that's where I've been getting into trouble. Literally, we went over like a monthly review of January, and I got into trouble. Let's say four times in January. That's 3 too many. Three too many. Yes, get it, Adara. But 3 too many. 4 times getting shut down 4 times in the month is absolutely unacceptable. But I looked into some of those trades. And funny enough, literally all of those trades, I was telling Neil and Wayne as well, and I was like, literally all those trades look exactly the same. And when that's happening is when I am breaking my rules, not following the system, maybe getting too aggressive. Maybe I am following my stops, but I'm not following my 3-strike rule or my aggression rule or my allocated ticker stop limit on the day. So it's like if I only want to risk 30% of my daily shutdown on one ticker, then maybe I'm not following that. So it's some form of not following some sort of hard set rule. And on those days,
interrupt.
It's horrible on those days.
But speaking of rules,
yes,
I like trend lines. You like trend lines.
Yes, we do.
Alibaba is on support, on the trend, on VWAP simultaneously. Support and trend. That's 2 things, not 3. I just wanted to be dramatic. So yeah, you're holding the trend line. If it can close it out above, I want to look for the long breaking back out over to stay on trend. I didn't really want to be short this name. It did do a pretty ridiculous reversion of trend earlier today, so I suppose I should be shorting this underneath VWAP. I was about to tell you I'm punching long if it breaks this back out above, but if it closes underneath, I will take that trade. It's the whole day's trend so far. Rivian did bounce off VWAP, but it managed to hold the high, so the short's still working well. Celsius, I mean, it's just Celsius still isn't really doing anything. And here's the question from Daniel Koala. If account shut down for you, you guys pay for a new one. No, so when Obi's talking about a shutdown on a prop floor, it's just your daily loss limit. So you get shut down if you hit your daily loss limit. You just can't trade for the rest of the day. You can then trade again tomorrow, provided you don't get fired off the trading floor. I shouldn't laugh,
provided
though.
you don't shut down far enough.
No, like there's...
I mean, I've had some pretty bad shutdowns
Yeah,
in
nothing
January.
like-
But the thing is, how I like to do it is
nothing
even if
like
I'm being a little degen, I don't want to degen more than 3 or 4 days. Like I have to be confident that if there are good trades, that's more than recoverable within 2 or 3 days, right? And if my stats kind of show that, and if my track record kind of shows that, sometimes the issue is that I'm willing to be a little degen on those days. That's another problem. That's a
There's
whole other
nothing
problem.
worse than if you've ever been a trading floor manager or a risk manager. There's nothing worse than like that moment where someone does have a loss. It's like that's multiple months for them to dig out of that hole, and then the inevitable happens. It's not a lot of fun. All of the lowest points of my trading career have usually involved that because people that are in trading, Baba just broke that 144, so it stayed on trend, stay on target. But people that get into prop trading and are on a floor, they probably really love it because it's a really empowering job and all that stuff. And it sucks being the person that ever delivers that message. We're supposed to go to Adara, but held trend Alibaba, held VWAP. Let's get to the high at 145 and let it fly. Adara?
And pushing to the upside. IWM doing pretty much the opposite here. We have been trading lower all day. This is the 15-minute chart, so we are at day's lows. Not only that, but we've also taken out yesterday's lows. So lots of weakness in the more rate-sensitive Russell 2000. It's worth noting, too, we did get a lower than expected consumer sentiment print and a slightly higher than expected 5-year inflation expectation here from the University of Michigan. We know that the IWM is more rate-sensitive, so I think it is worth being aware of those numbers. MLGO here, one of the small caps to watch out for. Micro Algo, this is a Chinese ADR, so likely moving with the rest of these here because it did not have an individual catalyst. What it does have, though, is an 18% short float. NKGN here, NKGen Biotech. There is a penny stock here trading about 66 cents right now, announcing that they've administered their expanded autologous NK cell therapy. So some therapy administration here for NKGN. GRAB Grab Holdings, a little bit less of a small cap. We're talking about a $20 billion market cap, but they are about a $5 stock. They reported earnings yesterday morning and actually got an upgrade from JP Morgan today. So good look for GRAB. Other small caps I'm seeing moving around here are WIMI and HOLO. INOD, not a small cap, but an earnings name that was moving pretty parabolically earlier today as well. So just a couple tickers to be aware of this morning, guys. Back to you.
A lot more.
Yeah,
I think.
exactly.
Like that was the place to reload, right? Neil and I are just talking about Unity and how I was just like, well, I wanted to double up. I wanted to add more into the trade. So where could I have potentially done that? I'm like, all right, cool. 70, 80% cover on top of the 30. If you think that 30 is going to hold and we're still holding that trend, like, look, the trend is very strong. I wanted to respect this trend. That trend is continuation from yesterday's strong action. And again, it's earnings day too. We're still doing relative volume. Pre-market had a strong trend as well. And we held VWAP, right? So I'm like, all right, so what am I seeing there? Wow, this is absolutely beautiful here. I did not expect this to work so beautifully, but you know what? That's something to remember for next time. But this kind of trend right here, you can see we literally bounced off of it, right? So that's what I'm looking at, and I'm like, all right, well, if it's going to hold that trend and we're going to continue, I do want to piece off and cover a little aggressively. But the thing is, this is your reload, right? When it holds the 30, it shows you the bounce. Yeah, people are definitely getting in for a continuation long here. If you're not already in here, you're looking for that 30 failure to follow through. That's technically still somewhat of an execution, but bigger picture, we don't hold this, we pull back in. This back through 30 that happens right here on the break of trend that we've been holding throughout the morning session, which happens to be the continuation trend from pre-market and from prior day, earnings day one. It's a little bit of a reason to sell, right? It's a trade within itself. So I think, again, this is me talking to myself, cover your 80, 90% if you feel like this is the place. But when this breaks, because this is a trade in itself, this is, again, the continuation for the push into VWAP. And then when we reject VWAP like that, and then now we're rejecting opening range lows as well, kind of giving up the whole move, maybe we are poised for a little bit of a pullback, maybe into some of these pre-market levels. But take a look at that. Prior bar not really breaking. Maybe it broke here. The first time it does bounce on the 3-minute, but I just go up to a higher time frame. Go up to a 5-minute, still holding on the 5-minute. Go up to a 15, still holding on the 15. And 30-minute, oh boy, we're cracking some big levels on the 30-minute as well. So lots to learn. on my part here on Unity today, but great opportunities nonetheless. Throw it up in the chat what you guys are
MLGO,
are
I
trading
think.
here. MLGO. I just want to Don
Micro algo.
Yes.
Breaking out the high as we speak. V-shaped bottom. I'll get to Bob in a quick little second. Just took another leg out there, and I'll show you why. But double top here on MLGO, but it's starting to fail that high. You always want these things to be able to hold a high break when they've trended down since the pre-market. That's a key one, but it's still higher lows on that bad boy. So shout out to anyone looking at that name. Ali, the market is tanking right now, and Baba's retesting the trend line. There was a seller at 144.5 after I broke the trend in. I'm still willing to reverse this one if we break underneath. The problem is VWAP sits there. So a trend break is going to be over VWAP. So I'll get out of the long to make sure we don't turn a winning trade into a loser, but I'm not reversing short above VWAP on Alibaba. So it's a little bit of a change because I know I like that trend break. The market is absolutely losing it, so the NASDAQ is flushing. PLTR, Palantir did not get back to 107 where we had short earlier. So we're kind of still looking for an entry. I think if it just does this again, I'm going to jump into it because it's stair-step to the downside. So far, so good. We're still in our Rivian that we're holding for VWAP. It just broke VWAP. We're looking for the low of the day here on Rivian. Had to wait this one out. We missed the bounce because it happened at like before 9 o'clock, like the bounce off that support on the daily, but it's still heavy support on that daily where I'm looking for longs. So I'm going to be out at the low on Rivian and looking for that re-entry. And just to show you guys, anyone that hasn't tuned in, if you're just tuning in right now, it's like, why would you want to be long on Rivian at that bottom? This is the daily chart on Rivian. That's accumulation. If it gets down here, it's 10% down, and that's the place I'm looking for an SSR bounce. So one trade short into it, and then the other trade would be a reversion coming out of it if we get all the way to the low here on Rivian. But I have my bids to cover, and then we move on to the next as, Bitcoin's also losing it. Yeah, Bitcoin loses it. This is IBIT, load, there we go. We just, that's not good. That's not a good looking daily chart if Bitcoin is not going to be able to recover here. Yeah, that's nasty. You just lost a 50 period and resistance at that, right in front of 100K at 99, and now you're absolutely bleeding. I think it's a gift that the Chinese names are strong because there's not much that's looking strong right now. So Baba holds on a trend. I'll probably, next time I'm going to reload down here on the trend line and tighten up the stop. So tighten up the stop from here to maybe there. And if it holds 144 even, then I might as well reload it anyways off that level.
Yeah, no, the market is coming in very, very aggressively right now. I don't know if you're watching this.
A little bit.
NASDAQ and the ES straight down. Straight down. There's no bounces. There's no bounces. These are 15-minute candles here. And since 9:15, straight reds to the downside here. Absolutely crazy. Covered that last crumb of Unity because, again, a little bit of a tape turn, a little bit of a break-in trend as well. Maybe we're poised for a little bit of a VWAP retest. I have no idea, but a little distinctly different than the market. So I think the trade is done for me here. If it continues further, then yeah, more lessons for me to kind of learn there. But yeah, solid kind of a move there, all the way from 30 halves down to 28 halves, 28 60s, kind of coming in as the lows there. Absolutely wild move there on Unity. But the question now becomes, Neil, where is the next trade? Starbucks was very strong yesterday. It was on my list. I mean,
Really?
we can go through the tickers I had on my morning trade plan.
Oh yeah, it's strong today too.
It is strong again for the continuation today. So yeah, let's take a quick look at the morning plan. Let me know in the chat. Throw it up in the chat if any of these tickers. I'm going to run through them real quick without looking at the chart. But let me know in the chat if you guys traded any of these. And then I'm going to go through some of these as well. Pepsi continuation. So did that happen? I was looking for the continuation on PEP. We can take a quick, where is my chart on PEP? My PEP chart is not here. Okay, all right, that's fine. Intel is kind of doing its thing as well. But PEP right here, PEP continuation, did that happen? Yeah, it kind of did happen, but in the pre-market, 9.15.
Oh,
so
wait.
that didn't really go on. What's going on?
Just very quickly, I know we don't always cover small caps here, but I wanted to go over Firefly.
Yes.
Because Firefly Neurosciences, which we've mentioned before and has been a big time runner before, up 17%. There was a story, the exercise of a warrant for total proceeds of 8.8. I think we're actually going to have the CEO maybe even jump on today, which would be pretty cool. But it's pulling back into prior resistance. So gap up, pulling back into prior resistance, bull flagging, like whatever you want to call it. AIFF Firefly on volume, 4 million in volume today. It's actually holding the top end of the channel. Just wanted to put that one to our attention. And let's head to the desk. It's Adara, and it's 10:30 already. Oh my goodness.
The biggest story in crypto this morning by far was going to be this Coinbase catalyst. Basically, first we have this reported by the Wall Street Journal. Then we actually have it being said here by Brian Armstrong. Coinbase, and again, we've only heard this from Coinbase. The SEC has explicitly declined to comment. But CEO of Coinbase here, Brian Armstrong, saying that the SEC, or at least staff from the SEC, has agreed to drop its case against the company. Of course, this is still subject to the approval of the SEC's commissioner, so that has not happened yet. We're going to have to wait and see what happens here with COIN. But Brian Armstrong also saying that he believes they're going to be getting to a point with crypto where the majority of the global GDP actually runs on these crypto rails. So to be clear, this is basically this entire move has been sold off as of right now, more or less, for COIN. But worth noting here, reportedly set to end their SEC dispute or lawsuit. So keep an eye on that here. Now we have Bitcoin, which initially after this push to the downside was holding the support level of 98.1, basically 98.2. Now we're breaking below that level. BTC now also making a lower high here on the 15-minute chart. And we were so close to that 100,000 level, topping today around that 99.5. So let's take a look here at the daily chart for crypto. Through a nice 2-day push to the upside here, we make a higher high, distinctly higher high here from the most recent high on February 14th. And then we push to the downside. We've given up very little of yesterday's move, so still could be a good look for BTC, but be aware of that rejection of that 99.5 level and the fact we can't hold support right now at 98.2 either. Back to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Derek. Yeah, it's not looking great, but there was a little bit of support that just came in. Last one I'm still in. I'll go to Baba, which obviously didn't hold 140. I'll look back in a second. Haven't really pressed to the low here on Rivian, so the reversion trade working for now, but it's putting in a nice higher low when the market's trying to bottom. I've moved the trail so that if it breaks back out from here, just slightly above, we'll get out. It's still putting in higher lows, so I want to respect that, which looks something like that, right? From pre-market low, the opening range bottom to this current low. If it holds that trend, this is not a hole all the way back into the top. As a matter of fact, I should be canceling that bid because if it breaks that trend, I should be holding for lower. Yeah. And if it holds that trend, I should be getting out. So that's the complete thought there. And now I can go to Alibaba for you guys because Baba did not hold 144. Never a chance to reload. It's at VWAP. I did not short this when it broke trend because VWAP was still holding on Baba, and it's held for most of the morning. So I want to give it a chance to still be a long because I like Baba for the long side. But for now, I am out of this name. Yeah, I see Scott's. It's hilarious here because like Scott Thompson's like short Alibaba. Baba may lose VWAP here. If not for VWAP, I probably would already be short this because look at the reversion. It's an all day long revert, and because of a line in the chart is why I didn't take it. It could always do a fail over and under. Oh, it's going to start to accelerate here. I'm not going to FOMO into it. You know, everyone has rules for a reason, and it's like I have never taken that setup above VWAP before, like directly above VWAP before. So because I've never done it, I don't have any clue what it looks like or how it works for me. Usually I'm playing that reversion into VWAP or underneath VWAP, but clearly it would have worked if I had just reversed that trade. So shout out to everyone that was telling me to do it, but I don't want to throw away the profits from this morning. Yikes. Oh, it's frustrating because you can see the trend line break, but I didn't want to punch short right in front of VWAP.
Yeah, I think see in those moments, I always have a hard time like being like, do I weigh VWAP more? volume weighted average, but or do I weigh the trend line more? Because it's like that changes decisions and that changes probabilities as well, right? It's just like sometimes, I don't know. It's always a tough call, man. It's just, especially if you're already in position.
Well, see, it was easy to get out of the long there.
Because
no
it's a reason to sell.
Yeah, it's a reason to sell.
Reason
so it's
to
an
sell,
easy.
so
it's easy to get out of the long flat. Because you know 144 goes, it's a trend line breaking, just get out flat. Don't try to fight the trade. Don't reload it, all that good stuff, but like maybe I should have been short there. The other thing that's happening, just guys, everybody, the NASDAQ just lost 22,000 as well.
Oh boy.
And Tesla is absolutely bleeding. So I canceled a bid on Rivian. I'm just going to see how far it goes at this point. Rivian's now down at 1270. It obviously can't hurt the Rivian short that we just lost 350 in a big way on Tesla. And this is also, remember, 348 has been support all week long on Tesla. Whoops, there's the 15-minute chart. All week long, this has been a support level on Tesla. So if we bounce and cannot get away from 348, this is a short from 48 to 50 on the way back up, even if it does, whether I'm short Rivian or not. So looking pretty nasty there. NVIDIA's trying to hold the low, but this is what we talk about. You don't have to fight a stock. Just because you want to be long a stock or you were long a stock or whatever, it worked yesterday long, you don't have to fight it. It tried to break trend. I went long. It did not hold. Could have gone back into it for a small win, but now you're bleeding on NVIDIA, and it looks like it's the other direction on this one. So looking pretty nasty. Where's your Unity? Because I can only imagine that's looking.
Oh, Unity's, I mean, it's still chopping around that area again. But I observed that like maybe some buying might be happening there, so I was like, all right, cool. It was a little distinctly different. You can see I use that as a reason to cover, and I think it's working out well. I'm satisfied with where I have my where I made that decision. Like I said, it was an insignificant part. I covered over 90% of the position just for a 30, 40. Well, no, I got in 60s, right? So yeah, for some in the 20s, some in the 10s, some on the 30s, some in the 80s and 90s there as well. Kind of, I guess if you even that out, maybe I'm covering everything in and around 30 15s or 30 20s there, or whatever I had at 67. But again, left on a small morsel, breadcrumb, insignificant for the decision, for the rep, and that. I kind of felt happened at that 2880s-ish mark, maybe a little bit before, but yeah, this could very well continue. Yeah, that's kind of the Unity push there. We're just going to go through some of these tickers right after we get back from Neil.
That's right. Listen up, everybody. The first month is free over at eSignal. That's right. They're waiving the fees so that you can trade smarter, not harder. With lightning fast market data, with everything at your fingers, instant trading access through multiple brokers, a highly customizable platform, the ability to back test and forward test to your heart's delight, API access so that you're able to automate trades if that is your cup of tea, which I was just talking about that with Obi on a certain strategy. It'd be nice to have it automated.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about having everything you want in one place and the reliability of the data when it comes to eSignal, used by professional traders for years that I've known. So free is a fantastic price to try something out. If it doesn't work for you, then it doesn't work for you. And if it does, then you've just found something which is going to elevate your game. So scan the QR code you see right in front of you. You don't have to have my layout, but you have level 2s up there. You can watch XYZ get it punished for a ridiculous ticker and a bad quarter. Check out eSignal, link in the description. Scan the QR code. Appreciate you, eSignal. And Block is actually tanking along with the market. The shorts are coming in. It's one of these types of days. I hate to say it because we got away from using the term and the free fall Friday thing, but that's kind of what the market's doing. So there's Rivian. It kind of broke this trend. So the adjustment was once it established that trend line and started bouncing off of it to trail it here or just hold it for the low. And the low here being, yeah, Randy, it's not looking good for Rivian. The low being this support at 1225 to 1230 on Rivian.
I'm long at 1021.
But we were saying this before. $10 has been the place to buy the stock. Mm-hmm. If you've been a buyer of Rivian, I'm pretty sure all three of us bought.
I've been long for.
Did you buy this one? I was buying it here.
Yeah.
So I think I have like 1088 or something.
1021, baby.
Silly like that. I don't remember.
Buy the dips, folks.
It might have. No, I think it was here. I think I bought it in here. So it doesn't really matter. It's a 10 level that's been better. That's all. Rivian's Randy's, it's his baby. Vacuum it up. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
It's vacuuming something up on a dip buy. Like if you want to talk about dollar cost averaging into the index,
You have to be the bottom.
No,
have
if you
to be
pull
so
back-
big that you are the bottom.
well, I don't know. Like it's on a bad stock, I'm not vacuuming anything up. The
I've heard
50
you can do
period
that on
on one of the good,
capitulation.
on like the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ, you drop 5% or you go drop 10% in a short period of time. I'm vacuuming up my dollar cost average because that's how I roll. Or give me a good company at a reasonable price at a good level. I'm stalling so I can pull up Alphabet. There we go. I'm stalling. Here we go. Alphabet, come on. At a reasonable valuation at the 200 period moving average. I was waiting for that to load, everybody. No, that'll vacuum some shares up at the 200 on Alphabet. I'm not vacuuming up Rivian shares because you don't want to get Nicola'd. Because I don't think Rivian is going under imminently, but Nikola, good thing it's still here because I could have called this up and it could have already been gone. I actually hadn't checked it this morning. No, like it's a different type of risk. The S&P 500 is not going anywhere. The NASDAQ's not going anywhere. Alphabet's not going anywhere. Meta's not going anywhere. Apple's not going anywhere. Rivian, it is possible. And I'm not saying it's going to do a Nikola, but they just filed Chapter 11 this week. And that's what the chart looks like. Rivian's distinctly better, but I'm not vacuuming up a stock that looks like this. Vacuuming up the shorts is what the market has been doing, but I just noticed my stock doesn't want the low. It's double bottoming here on Rivian. So a little bit of a double bottom. Probably should respect that as the market's trying to hold the 22,000 level.
So if you see something like vacuuming it up, would you say that this price action sucks? I hear that often. I say that sometimes. I'm like, yo, this price action sucks. But no, it's just a joke there. Let's go through some of these. I wanted to show you guys my morning watch list here. This is something I've been doing a little bit more often now. Kind of my morning watch list used to be me messaging Wayne a bunch of tickers overnight, and in the morning just being like, these are my top ideas here. Yeah, Pepsi was very strong. Pepe, nice. Shout out to Wayne. It was very strong yesterday, so I was looking for that continuation. You can see we did get that continuation, but it happened a little bit in the pre-market, but gave that up. Palantir, strong close. Again, looking for that continuation. Did it come in? Not really. Strong flush to the lows. SMCI, I was looking for that 60 level to hold, and does it hold? Absolutely not. As of right now, we're trading 58.90s, and Meta as well. Meta, strong kind of trend here, back-to-back red days. Today, we're getting a little bit of a consolidation, end of the week, understandable. Let's see if we can break some of those day lows there. It's coming in, but that continuation, again, if I was looking for selling below that 700, that selling's definitely coming in here on Meta. CELH, oh boy. That one, I was looking for a little bit of a gap give and go, a little bit of a pullback to hold on the bid. That did not happen at all as the bids got slammed into right off of the open, and I was like, oh boy, didn't want to get stuck in that one there. But it's calmed down quite a bit as of right now. Intel on a bigger time frame held that 25 level pretty well. If you saw yesterday, Neil, Intel did a V-shaped recovery. Not only that, we aggressively bid up through the day's high, going into the close there as well. So if you just played the end of day, last 20, 30 minute high a day breakout, you could have held that all the way into 410 there. So a little bit after the close, as the action still kind of bid up and into the pre-market as well. But as of right now, we're getting a bit of a pullback. But the question becomes, can we hold? Yeah, can we hold that 25? We're in a bit of a key area right now. TXN was really, really strong yesterday. I don't know if you've been watching this one, Neil, but very strong on the weekly as well as on the daily. Very, very strong this week in particular, but a bit of a consolidation at the end of the week as of right now on TXN. Starbucks. Oh boy, this one definitely a continuation there. I was looking at, okay, so this is a big miss. Okay, all right, it's a good thing I'm going through this right here, Neil. So I was looking at this top right here. So go up to a 15-minute, take that VWAP off the chart, and maybe even make this full screen here. You can see we've been kind of chopping and consolidating here underneath these 113 halves for quite a while, and I was looking for a did I not write technical breakout there? TBO, Starbucks, technical breakout. What happens right off of the open, Neil? Opening drive through that 115 halves. Oh boy, it takes you all the way to 114.45, so almost a point to the upside off of that technical breakout on Starbucks. A multi-day consolidation highs at that 113 half. So a little bit of a missed trade on my part on that one. That's definitely going to go down into the journal as a missed trade. Walmart earnings day 2. Let's see how they're doing. Strong selling on the earnings report, but look at that. Wow, right off of the open. Consolidation low. So the trade basically was on Walmart today. It made a tight range. All I'm looking for is the range break, and look how cleanly that range low from earnings day 1 cracks right off of the open. 96.70s, and then right off the open you get a little bit of a test of that 96.70 area, and then flushing down to 95. So yeah, a little bit of a pullback there on Walmart. And then we're looking at all the banks. So XLF, we can just take a look at that one there. Still trading within yesterday's range, XLF. So, but still selling off of the open. Unity, we were all over that one there. Unity, beautiful, still coming into 28.70, still kind of holding some of these pre-market levels. Absolutely beautiful for the continuation off of the open. If you had it through the 29, through the 30, that worked out really, really well as we hit a high of 30.87, but then the bid kind of stepped off and sellers started stepping in, and that was a great opportunity to revert it not only back to VWAP, but break of trend on the daily as well, all the way back down to the lows. DBRG had earnings yesterday. I was looking for a continuation, another strong earnings name. Doesn't really do anything off of the open today, so that's perfectly fine. And STM is the last one. This thing, Neil, I don't know if you've been watching this one, but this thing came up on my scanners last night as a bit of strength, and look at that. Over the past couple of days, strong relative volume, strong trend over both Wednesday and Thursday. And today I was looking for more of the same. I know it's asking for a bit much on day 3, but again, still had it on the list, but not, looking a little lackluster there. So that was my morning list. You can see that I had a lot of ideas. Only one of them worked really, really well, and that was the Starbucks.
But that's,
right?
you know what though?
That's usually what happens.
That's how it is.
That's
like I look
usually
at
how it is, Neil.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Like you have so many
6,
ideas.
7, 8,
You have to be adaptive. You
I
gotta
had
be like
12 things on my iPad.
Yes.
4 that go out of my tweet, and I've traded 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 stocks this morning. But a couple of things just happened now. We lost 22,000 on the Nasdaq. Tesla retested underneath 48 and just bounced off 45. Simultaneously to Tesla bouncing off 345, I got trailed out of Rivian, which maybe not a coincidence, but trailed out of Rivian here, the short off the 1320 level, just trailed out at 1270. So pretty much the exact same exit point on a bounce, double bottom on the Rivian short. So it's got the range twice, and it's about 1260 to 1320. But in the market, remember, with the market this week, this didn't actually break the low. So breaking down, did not break the low. Got to put that in the back of my mind that it might not be a reload at that triple top. What is also happening is CELH is back above VWAP and MLGO. So many times, I've been typing MGLO by accident a few times. MLGO continuing to run 350%. It is your small cap gapper. We always have to show this. I'll always pull up the daily chart just so you can get a sense of like how habitual is this for pullbacks. It's done this multiple days in a row a few times. So post split, it'll run and break out for like 2 or 3 days and then revert. It's done this before. It'll run for 2 or 3 days. So this one's not as bad. I forget the other name we were talking about this morning where I pulled it up. It was like Holo, I think it was, HOLO. And you would have like one good day and then it would flush. This has done it usually for a couple of days in a row, which I like a little bit better. So I'm not chasing it or anything, but if you can hold on to the prior high on a dip or even just stay on trend, that would look a little bit nice. So you're getting a nice bounce in the futures. I think I want to look back over at NVIDIA, which is kind of following a long course. It's not at support yet at 137, but it hasn't broken so far away from 139 that I don't still like it here. So we played 140. I'll give a shot at this 139 as well if it reverts to trend. So if we can break the trend line, I'll go long off the 139 here on NVIDIA. And then, CLH it might break out. CLH, there's VWAP, there's that 33. It's the post-halt price, and it's back. So the order is going back in. We're going to see if we can't grab this CELH on the break.
Yeah, I think the CL it's came right back up into VWAP again. I have eyes on it. I'm kind of watching it, but the market's finally catching a little bit of a bid here as we approach the midday session, almost 11 o'clock as of right now. But yeah, I'm looking for the next trade. And if the market is going to bounce like this, where is the reversion? That's literally what I'm hunting for right now. What is the best vehicle to revert right now? Maybe it's the Spider. Spider, a bit of a low, 605.76 is on a 15-minute chart. Oh boy. So that prior 15-minute bar low, 605.76, current 15-minute bar low, Neil, with about 10 minutes left to print, is 605.78, about a 2 penny difference there. So have we bottomed? I have no idea. But a strong bid coming in at a bit of a flat bottom on a 15-minute, if you want to call it that there. So a sharp turn, if you want to call it that, off of a specific price on two consecutive candles there. Oh boy, I know what I missed for the reversion. Neil?
SMCI?
No, look at the chart over here. Right here, on my Intel chart right here. Up in the right here.
Oh yeah, that's the one.
Off of that level once again.
No, I was going to say
once
SMCI.
again. Oh boy.
So we are about to, and the reason I was saying I thought you were going to say SMCI because it pulled right into afternoon support
see,
and
a
reverted
lot of
even cleaner. So I know Obi well enough that I thought this was going to be the one he'd talk about on a reversion play. I'm liking Nvidia in a couple of seconds here, but we're going to go to our guest of the day. We teed it up, and now let's lock it out of the park with Brendo.
For everyone, go back a couple of weeks here. Firefly up huge for a couple of days. I mean, it was a week-long rally. We talked about it almost every day on this. NVIDIA Connect program, accepting the company into it. We'll talk about that in a second. This comes out today then. Firefly Neuroscience is up big time. It was more than 15% up here. A bit of a pullback right now, but 8.8 million in warrants being executed. We're lucky to have Greg Lipschitz, CEO and executive chairman of Firefly Neurosciences, joining us to talk about both. And it's great to have you, Greg. First off, welcome. First time on the show. So a lot to discuss. It's been a crazy couple of weeks, lots of action, lots of attention around the company. Let's start first with the NVIDIA deal. Give us a breakdown here. Tell us a little bit about it from a high level first, and then I want to really talk about the tech too.
Sure. Hey, guys. Good morning. Pleasure to be on here, and thanks so much for having me. Look, we're really excited about this partnership with NVIDIA. And so outside of the brand recognition and the credibility that they provide, we get access to world-class human capital and leading-class technology to help us build our models. And we're really excited about the future of this partnership and the future of Firefly.
And dive into that a little bit more. Let's talk about the technology specifically. What does that open up for Firefly on the NVIDIA side? What are you going to have access to that will really give the company that advancement and benefit that they've been looking for?
Yeah, for sure. Look, I think one of the most exciting things for us is we get access to their pool of talent. And so as our developers are putting together models of the brain and understanding the brain and cognition and disease states, we get guidance from world leaders who can really assist us. And look, we've worked with companies like Takeda and Novartis, and NVIDIA is kind of one of many companies I think you're going to see Firefly work with.
Fantastic. A lot of excitement still around the stock. Looking forward, I guess, what doors would this open as far as, getting the name out there, for one, a lot of name recognition, obviously just tied to the NVIDIA deal. What do you see as far as maybe future opportunities because of this coming?
Sure. Happy to talk about that. So as Firefly's perspective, we basically spent the last kind of 10 years and $80 million getting to where we are today to get our FDA clearance. And so as we kind of continue to get data and understand the brain, where we're at now is sort of this exciting point where we're kind of onboarding more customers to our platform. And so this allows us to kind of expedite that growth. And so I think what you'll see is the ability for us to add more pharma companies to our platform and also add more clinics to our platform.
Shoring up the financial side then today with this announcement this morning that comes out as we showed there, 8.8 million in warrants executed, stocks up again. Lots of people getting eyes back on it once again. What does this mean as far as the financing side is concerned?
Yeah, for sure. So the way to look at Firefly is the heavy capex items are behind us. So, it took us $80 million in 10 years to build a database, prove out our algorithms, and get the FDA clearance. And so what this capital allows us to do is really, it's used for growth capital to expand our clinics and pharma partnerships. So this balance sheet now that we have gives us well into 2026. And I think why it's important for investors is because when you generally invest in biotech, it's extremely expensive and there's a high degree of risk of whether or not you'll get FDA clearance. And I think the way that people should look at us is like we already have our FDA clearance and all the heavy CapEx items are behind us. So we're a platform company. We're the picks and shovels to pharma. So we can work with any company on any disease state. So as I mentioned, we've worked with Takeda, Novartis, and Bright Minds as well. And so I think what you can see is, we now have a very strong balance sheet and the ability for us to execute. And I think the market's, well received it today, which is exciting. And I think what you can start to see is and expect from us is, we'll be using this capital to execute, onboard more customers, and hopefully increase our revenue significantly.
A lot of people still with eyes on today, AIFF for anyone looking for the symbol over on the NASDAQ. Again, that's the headline from this morning. Firefly Neurosciences up big time. 8.8 million worth of warrants executed. Greg Lipschitz, CEO and Executive Chairman of Firefly Neurosciences. Great to talk, first off, and come back and give us another update in the future.
Sounds great. Thanks so much for having me on the show.
Thanks, Greg.
Thank you so much to Greg, and shout out to Firefly. I appreciate you. It's always, everyone knows all about NVIDIA. That's always going to be good. We did show this, and I'll show it again. I know, obviously, a lot of times the CEO is not going to want to go on about the good performance of the stock and not want to brag about it, which is fair, and I think that's level-headed as well. But up 17% today. And if we always talk about mean reverts, there it is. Bounced off that support, broke trend, and headed higher. But a couple of things are happening right now. Celsius finally broke.
Yes.
But it's not going. So I got in, trimmed, got back in. I'm just going to give it a bit of a wider stop, I think. I didn't necessarily love the price action on the first break. I got in like 8 or something like that, and decided to trim it just underneath 33, and then it came back and broke the top again. I'll at least give it to the prior bar high, which I think just for a little bit more room. It's taken a while to get here, but I still feel on a breakout trade, you really got to let it go or give it some room to go, but it should work right away. That's the idea for the trade. And then I'm going to go over quickly to SMCI and Palantir. SMCI powered into VWAP, a little bit of a reversion back through VWAP in here as well. So looking incredibly strong, however. It just bounced off of 60 pretty nice. I'm going to get a bit in front of 60 as well there. And then Palantir, which we had just little tight stop reload. It's not a huge trend line. I don't think I want to respect it that much, but if you connect it there to there, it had held, got in, it gave it about 15 pennies, which is not a lot of risk, but it wasn't an A+ setup there on Palantir, so you can either take less or risk less, whichever one is your cup of tea. That's what I went with. A little bit more room giving Celsius to this break. The market is still holding the bid, but it's worth noting, as we've made a bottom here on the NASDAQ, you're still not breaking the 22,000. So the 22,000 turning into a little bit of a wall. These are yesterday's lows, effectively like the bottom end of the range. So it's still a pretty bearish day overall here in the markets that we should respect. That said, Celsius is trying to go, and the good thing about Celsius is a squeeze name doesn't necessarily care what the market is doing.
No.
Celsius, if it wants to go to 34, it can just do it, and the market could bleed for the rest of the day, and it could decide to go on a squeeze. So hopefully they like this Alani acquisition enough, which I saw in the chat a few people mentioning. It's a very popular brand. I had never heard of it before, but the acquisition they're making, a big part of why it's gapping up here. It wasn't just about the earnings for them.
Yeah, I think another ticker here, a bit of a missed opportunity on my part is Block. Again, Block with the earnings as well.
Yeah.
And would you look at that, Neil? Absolutely beautiful here. I can already tell it rejected anchored right off of the open, so I don't even need to throw it on. But yeah, right there.
You know what
so
sucks?
rejection of that anchored, rejection of 76. What sucks?
We didn't have free locates on it.
Oh, we don't have borrows?
No.
Oh boy.
I did try to punch this one this morning, and
All right.
and it was in the moment that I tried to hit it. Because remember, Block came into the pre-market high, and I tried to punch short and realized we didn't have the locates on it. I'm not shorting at the low, but
Yeah, no. What a continuation is what I'm saying. Like, and
preparation matters, everybody. Of
course.
Preparation matters.
Yeah, and you have the market tailwind, right? That makes it even stronger. If I'm already looking for the continuation here on Block, and I'm looking for that anchored VWAP to hold. I'm looking for that pullback in and then continuation. And the market is doing what I'm looking for on this specific ticker as well. Oh boy, that definitely is a factor of confluence, and maybe warrants some more size, maybe warrants maybe a little bit more precision as well, and maybe some chasing. So yeah, absolutely wild continuation there on XYZ. I like their name change. You know,
You like that?
it's a little nerdy. I like it. Because XYZ,
No, I know
the
it's the
three
three
axes.
dimensions. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And it's a block.
I don't.
it's
a horrible ticker.
Yeah.
Why should you put any barrier? You don't want to put up a barrier for,
Yeah.
I don't know, say people that are talking about the market to not talk about your stock, or forget the name, or make an accident
fair.
pulling it up, or I don't know, just keep it simple. And also, it's 11 o'clock. Everybody, someone shout out and thank Obi for filling in for Sean, who, trust me when I tell you, he was, he's putting in work yesterday to be here. I think, everyone could tell. He hates missing the market. Obi, thank you for filling in. We'll be back at 2 o'clock, but right now you got a midday treat. Why? Because joining Sharif, the professor, we've got Adara for how to trade. So go get him, everybody.
See ya.
Oh boy.
What is up, beautiful people? I am not Greg Lipschitz, nor
am
is
I.
she.
The data is in. It's been a month.
Let's shout out everybody at Dare as we always do. What do we
always
got
do that.
here? We got the OG Darwin. We got Trejo. We got Benson, Dude V. Shout out to Mateus, Lane. Hi, Greg. Darwin, you always make me laugh, bro. Droopy, you ain't gonna get me this time. We got Paul Goodson. We got Doi Nguyen. We got Jose Rodriguez. Did you know? All that's in the name right there. Hello to Charmine. Hello right back at you, girl. We got Tiger, the cosmetic cat. Dabba Dabba Doo. We got Rogelio Concepcion Trejo. He says, I love Adara. I think he's really a fan of yours there, Adara. Nice. We got my man Ozan. He wants me to say China. Get it, Ozan. We got Mr. Out of the Box, Ticker Checker, Soul Queen 88. Get it, girl. We got, who else? Corey Pratt, Mike Davis, Nephew with a capital P. Got Blue Baron, GT Talk. 5150, we got Michael, we got Andrew Bakes Cakes.
I like that one.
Blue Baron, I like that one too. T-Dot, Dexter Smith, Official Mr. Bones, we got Pax, Jota L, Yoshi G, Big, you're not gonna get me with that one. That was a good one there, Mr. Big, but you're not gonna get me. I'm gonna read them before I
You're not gonna get him, guys.
Yeah. One more here. Get wrecked, get wrecked. I love these names. And shout out to my man, Adam DeLuce. I can see you, Adam. How can I not see you, Adam? You're ADL, baby. Good morning, Adara.
Good morning, Sharif. How are you on this fine Friday?
It's Friday, baby. It's
Friday.
cold AF outside. That's okay. It cools off a little bit, I think, or warms up, in the next few days. So we should be okay. What are you looking at?
I am trading. I am actually pleased as punch. And I am in a position, but because we switched over, it's not showing yet. I am long Eli Lilly, and I'm taking a trade I've actually been waiting weeks to take. And I am stoked that I get to take it in front of all of you. So let me contextualize this. You can kind of see it on this daily chart. I will switch to I've been trading this off the 3 for currently, so I'll show you guys that. So here's oh, this is actually okay, gotta shake the things, there we go. Technology, Adara, use it better, thank you. Okay, here we go. Finally, my brain and I are chilling with tech. So we are in Miss Lily, and this is the situation here that's happening. So look at this little blue line I have drawn. This was an area of previous support on the daily chart. So we have our earnings, this is day one earnings back on February the 6th. We push up to this level, we reject it. Then we tap it twice on the Friday. The next day, earnings day 2. Both times we reject it. Then we've never caught it since today. I was like, you know what? I see this breakout. I saw this on my side chart, and I had moved it from when I was trading it on Wednesday when I was here. And I saw that 88. It said to Sharif, I'm like, I want this so badly.
Hey.
And I got a little bit aggressive with it. Usually I like to wait for the breakout. With these spready tickers, if you wait for the breakout, you're not getting it. If I had waited at 888s, I wasn't going to get it. I am long 888 69s. We're at 892s. I am pleased as punch. I could not take a lot of size with this just because when you're good, I had to risk like $3 on this. So, you got to be realistic with it. But I am really pleased as punch with what this is doing. I'm not taking off any pieces yet. On the daily, there's not, and it's always hard when there's not a lot of overhead resistance because you don't really know where you're going at this point. I'm kind of maybe interested in this area above 900s, and I think on a principal basis, I probably should take some off at 900s because it is a $100 level, and I've talked a lot about what spready stocks do there. So maybe I will take it again, not a huge position. I maybe will take half off at 900s because I think that's a good idea. And at that point, we're $10. I'm cool with that. Also, watching UNH, watching Tesla, I have had trades on both of those names, and I'll talk about those after. Also, we're doing a bid creep on Lily, so let's go Lily, go, go, go. But as I wait for Miss Lily to have, she's already broken out. I'm just going to let her chill. I'm going to enjoy this trade. I will keep you guys posted in the chat as to how this is going. Right now, my stop was, I think, current bar on the 3-minute. I'm going to have to adapt this as we have this breakout. And usually what I do is prior bar on the 3. I'm likely to continue to do that because this is a breakout trade. So we're going to stay posted on this. I am pleased as punch with how this is going. And thank you guys all for being with us today. Also, disclaimer, my throat is doing a thing. I am aware I was sick yesterday. I told Sharif I accidentally dropped a laptop on my head. We were having a great time yesterday. So I'm going to do my very best here with my voice. I do apologize in advance. And we're going to keep it going because Lily's almost at 893s. Over to you.
Well, we're just going to hit a couple of bangs there before we start the lesson because that's a good trade. Shout out to Adara. All right, guys, let's get to the lesson du jour. We're talking about these lesser-known continuation patterns and reversal patterns as well. So lesser-known patterns, let's just put it that way. Let's talk today about the expanding triangle, one of the lesser-known ones for sure, for me anyway. So technical analysis offers a variety of chart patterns to help us navigate price movements. Expanding triangles, or sometimes known as broadening formations, are unique patterns that can signal either a continuation of the prevailing trend or, believe it or not, a reversal. So this pattern kind of goes both ways a little bit here. They occur when a market is experiencing heightened disagreement among investors over the appropriate price of a security over a short period of time. So the market doesn't see, or market participants not seeing eye to eye. That's typically what manifests as patterns. Buyers become increasingly willing to buy at higher prices, while sellers find even more motivation to take profits. This creates a series of higher interim peaks in price and lower interim lows, believe it or not. When connecting these highs and lows, the trend lines form a widening pattern that looks like a megaphone or a reverse symmetrical triangle. Sorry? Oh, no worries. Is it good right now? We're good to go? All right. All right. Just talking with Andre in my ear. All right. So let's talk about these expanding triangles. So they have diverging trend lines. So that's the first thing we need to note about them. So unlike symmetrical or ascending or even descending triangles that converge, expanding triangles have diverging trend lines. They're moving away from each other. The price action creates higher highs and lower lows within the triangle, with each swing exceeding the previous one. This is kind of what we're looking at there. So we're moving away, kind of creating that megaphone shape. What's going on? Well, we just explained what's going on. Buyers are buying more, getting more exuberant, but sellers keep taking profits at even higher and higher levels. So the market is in disagreement, or we could say disequilibrium in this particular pattern. So why are expanding triangles relevant? How do they matter to us. So expanding triangles can be a continuation pattern, as I suggested earlier, suggesting that the trend will resume after a period of volatility, but sadly, they also can be precursors to a reversal. So we don't know where the hell this is going, making them more complex than other triangle patterns that we often talk about. So how do we identify them? Well, I mean, it's pretty easy because you have diverging trend lines. So established trend, while not always present, expanding triangles can sometimes form within an existing uptrend or downtrend, but what their most notable feature is, as I mentioned, the diverging nature of their trend lines. So draw trend lines among the peaks and troughs of the price swings. These trend lines should be diverging, as I showed you that megaphone shape earlier, meaning they'll move further apart. Oh, I defeated the sneeze. They'll move further apart as the pattern unfolds. So let's talk about them from a trend continuation perspective, because they kind of do both right there. So breakout direction, a breakout above the upper trend line in that megaphone shape, which is a bullish continuation, or below the lower trend line, which is a bearish continuation. This suggests that the trend might resume. There's also important consideration with volume here. So increased volume on the breakout or breakdown helps strengthens the continuation signal of the pattern. And it also acts as a target projection. We can gauge where to wet our beak based on the pattern's formation. So the measured height of the triangle, in other words, a method of the measured move, if you ever heard that before. So the measured height of the triangle from a peak to the opposing trough can be projected upward from the breakout point for the bullish continuation or downward for a bearish continuation to estimate your potential price target. So that's kind of what we're talking about there. We have an expanding triangle. Not really. This looks more like a flat bottom, but I couldn't find the exact one. But you can imagine that this lower trend line here is making lows. What you would do is you would measure from the peak to the trough, and then depending on what direction we broke out or broke down in, you would project this height over here, the purple line downward, and then you'd be wetting your beak right around there. Shout out to the beak wetting animation, which I seem to like a lot these days.
It's dope.
Yeah, why not, right?
Yeah.
Kind of the same thing over here. We're moving along our merry way. This kind of looks like a flat top again, but just imagine that it was kind of creating higher highs, and you would measure it from peak to trough, and then once it broke down below the lower trend line, you would then project that same height downward and take your profits there. But as you can see, especially with this stock over here, I'm not sure which one it is, price tends to sometimes exceed the measured move. So my suggestion to you be take a piece off at your profit taking and then leave a piece for the dream. And then, have an area where you say, okay, well, if it retraces back above the measured move by a certain percentage, I'm taking it off there. Okay, let's talk about the expanding triangles though as potential reversal patterns. So what happens is typically there's an exhaustion of the trend. So the expanding price swings can indicate underlying buying and selling pressure is weakening, potentially leading to a reversal. But there's also the ever-present danger of the false breakouts. Breakouts from expanding triangles can be deceptive. Be cautious of quick reversals that come right back into the pattern. Where have we seen that before? Oh yeah, every day. Confirmation with other indicators as well. Super important here. Let's not rely too much on one pattern or one piece of information. Due to the potential for reversals, use additional indicators like the RSI or your Bollinger Bands to gauge momentum and potential overbought and oversold. And this is kind of what we're looking at over here. Bulls trying to push the price up. Bears trying to push the price down. Who wins? Well, clearly here, the Bears won because we started making lower lows and lower highs, okay? So how do we trade these bad boys? What's the move here? So number one, you got to gauge whether you believe the pattern is showing you a potential continuation or a potential reversal, because this one does both. So expanding triangles require extra caution due to their ambiguity. Consider the following factors. One, if the triangle forms within an established trend, okay, a breakout in the direction of the trend is more likely to be a continuation. So if preceding the megaphone or the expanding triangle pattern, we had been putting in higher highs and higher lows, a well-established trend, well then the breakout of the top side or the resistance line of the expanding triangle will likely signal trend continuation. Okay? And then you also want to use other technical indicators, obviously, as I always talk about, to confirm the breakout's validity and assess its risks. So how do you get in and get out here? What's your entry and what's your stop loss? So for continuation trades, enter shortly after the confirmed breakout from the high or the low, depending on whether you're going long or short. Place a stop loss just below the lower trend line for the long trades or above the upper resistance trend line for short trades. And some additional tips to leave you guys with before we start trading: manage risk wisely with these patterns. They are bamboozling by nature because they go both ways. So expanding triangles involve higher volatility. Manage your position size carefully and consider using trailing stop loss orders. And most importantly here, patience is key. Don't rush into any trades. Wait for clear confirmation of the breakout direction and consider additional confirmation, as I said, from other technical indicators. How you doing over there?
I'm doing great, thank you. I have to say, get it, Sharif. And also, you guys could not see it the way the camera was, but I like that you were making the little like patterns with your hands. So I want to shout that out.
I know I don't get the full thing here.
I mean, I enjoyed it. Like it was a compliment. I want to talk about Lily. I did take out a quarter of this, and I want to tell you why I did this. I know I said I was going to wait, but I saw some really bearish action on the book, and I was like, Adara, you should probably secure a little bit of the bag. So I did take out some at 892s, and the reason I did that was because I talked a little bit about the bid and the ask creep when I was back here on Wednesday. I'm going to explain it more today. So what happened was I was saying we were almost at like, 893s. So in the bid, we were, I think I want to say 891.50s, 891.60s were pretty static. And the ask, we're at like 892.61. 892.60, 892.59, and I know that means we can drop. So I went for the mid print there, 892, which I got. I was pretty lucky, as you can see here, pretty much top wick on the day. I will fully acknowledge my luck. And then we dropped basically to my, thank you. We dropped basically there at entry, to my entry price, and then we popped. So we're good there. I'm using 5-minute prior bars as my stop, which is a little bit skewed now because there's a little bit of a bottoming wick candle on that 5 minutes. So I'm going to see my trading view has a different 5-minute entry, so I can just make sure I have the right price. Okay, it's basically the stop I already have. So we are, I'm not going to, maybe we'll move that a little bit. But yeah, we're all good there. We're just chilling. I am just in this trade here on Mademoiselle Lele, also watching UNH. So I said I talked earlier about the trades I had on UNH and Tesla when I had a second. So UNH, I tried this long here on the 5-minute. I'll show you guys the 15 so I can kind of explain what I mean. I thought we were going to have this little breakout. I liked it because we were above this high here, or I guess the candle bar high prior to that. I liked that we were pushing to the upside. I was willing to give it to the low of the previous bar, so I guess the bar that I got in on around that 458.70s. I did get stopped out, pretty small size. And what's interesting too is I only actually had like 11 cents of slippage. So I want to give UNH a round of applause because you're going to get a lot more slippage than that on average. So go UNH, go. Also, I still have my Lily book here so I can act quickly if need be. I just want to explain why that's still happening. That was the UNH trade. If we can break back up of that 460 decisively, I like that. I like how we're hugging the 9 EMA all nice and tight like a blanket. I really like that. Also, I like this bottoming tail candle we got here at 10 a.m. on the 15. And I like that candle because we actually bounced off of the AVWAP. So from this catalyst, so I like that as well. Now we've got Tesla that I want to discuss. And so TSLA, I had this short. I liked this breakdown here. And I'm going to go back to show my trading view chart again because that's where I have all my AVWAPs. So I had this AVWAP on Tesla. I have a lot of AVWAPs on Tesla. This one, though, I believe is, I'm going to double check where this one's from. Yes, so this is from when Elon, the Elon Musk OpenAI stuff. That was actually where that AVWAP was from because we were actually respecting it pretty nicely. So we break below it, and I realized, hey, we're kind of making a little bit of a potential top here. So I risked into that AVWAP, got short, was able to take out at 20% there at 345s, added back in when we made a lower high because that was the plan. If we broke this level, I wanted to add, but I didn't get it in the way down. Got it in the way back up, ended up getting stopped out, but it's all good there. Did take some profit on it, probably flat on the name. But again, we're not trading P&L here. We're trading the process, and we're trading to learn. So I know that sounds really cheesy and really trite, but I find when I focus just on making sure the processes are right, then I feel I'm doing better. So with that in mind, I'm actually looking for Tesla as a long now if we break above that AVWAP because we are making some lower highs. I think it's pretty clear on the 15-minute that we are doing so. So I like Tesla as a potential long breakout here. Lily, of course, I am still currently long. And some people asking about some small caps. I'm going to send it over to the small cap connoisseur. His name is Sharif Gobriel.
Well, MLGO's all the hype right now, Dara, because it is just on one. We're knocking the door of $6. That might open soon. I can't get in here. I can't in good conscience punch in at highs. I put in a dip trade at 555s. It's a small amount there that I'm waiting at the $0.5. The reason I'm waiting at the $0.5 is because what you're looking at right there, baby, that double top into the $0.5 acted as a local area of resistance. We drop back down. Lo and behold, we hold the other $0.5, which had been previously, by the way, in case you're wondering, the pre-market high right at that 6:30 a.m. So we had to weasel above that 6:30, that pre-market high, and weaseled we have. So let's see if this one wants to come down into that 550. I don't mind DCAing from 550 into 5. Let me give you my reason on MLGO that I DCA, because you guys don't typically see me DCA. Reason is because we're getting well extended away from the 10 exponential moving average on the 5. And this is what I'm looking at on the side chart. That green line right there, that's a 10 exponential. It's been hugging the price action on MLGO. So if we don't hold at the $0.5, which is a previous area of resistance, then I want to pick up some more at that $5 area because that's the next level of support. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm already involved in a couple of names. Sint just got me filled, SINT, so I'm involved right now in SINT as well as IVVD. Let's go have a look at what Sint is doing because it's already popping up here and I'd like to be able to extract some profits if possible. So we're going to layer the orders. There we go. We got a couple of beaks wet. Well, just one beak. Who has more than one beak? Calm down, bro. All right, so that's what we're waiting for right now. I'm at 25. I just wet my beak at 25s. We're long 15s. I'm layering the orders to the top side. Let's take out some possibly in the high 30s if this one will have me. And then I'll also on SINT. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to add into 6. It's going to have to generally hold this area. So the stop's already in place on this bad boy. Let's see what it does. Still haven't been printed yet in MLGO. As you can kind of see, where's my MLGO screen? There we go. Now okay, I just got to concentrate on this for a sec, sorry. So here we go. Now we're coming back down into this $0.5 area. We got a topping till into about 6 and then all the way back down into 550. So let's go now. Let's throw out another order in case we get that 550 print. I'm going to sit at 505s as well. So we're going to go ahead and sit there in case this one comes back down and then we'll take some prints here. What's up, Andre? Yes, sir. Absolutely. All right. I got it. It's fine.
I just realized I'm not plugged in, so I'm like, oh,
You're
gotta
good.
do that.
All right, I'm ready to go, Andre. With an FDA-cleared proprietary database of over 77,000 brain images, Firefly is transforming healthcare with AI-driven diagnostics, providing a clear, data-backed understanding of brain health. After more than a decade and over $60 million invested, Firefly is advancing the commercialization of its brain networks analytics platform, bringing the technology to clinicians and pharmaceutical partners. Firefly is enhancing the diagnosis and treatment of conditions such as depression, dementia, anxiety disorders, concussions, and ADHD, while also accelerating drug discovery and early screening conditions for things like Alzheimer's. Definitely want to shout out AIFF, Firefly Neurosciences, which is up, by the way, 15.33%. Look who's trying to show up to work.
The second I saw her comment, I knew you were going to comment.
Yeah, of course I'm going to comment. Come on, Adara. All right, so I'm keeping an eye on Firefly. AIFF is in play today. It's below VWAP right now, so we're going to pack my patience on that one and see if we can extract some, we can get into a trade on it. So MLGO still has not allowed me in as both these little, entry orders still have gone unfilled. I'm waiting at the $0.5 and then at the whole dollar here for MLGO. It's up a light, Adara, 413%. This I perceive to be a good-looking bull flag, and something tells me that we're going to continue this bull flag pattern because we've got a 4 green candle set up on the 5 right now. Here is 6. There is 6 right now. We haven't breached it. Now we have 616. This one is on one. The buying is aggressive here, Adara. We take out 6 like it doesn't even matter. I got to tell you, the initial bull flag that I perceived to have started over here, while the price starts from around 2 3/4, tops out at 5.5. So do your measured move calculation from the breakout area and see exactly if this trade suits your style. All right, Cint is coming back down despite the fact that we got a little print there at 6.25. It's pulling back into the 10 exponential. It's going to have to hold 6, otherwise we want no smoke. I'm also involved in IVVD, taking a print there at 57s. Now I'm waiting at 58s, moving up little by little. I still have a DCA to defend that $0.50 at that level as well. Shout out to the OG Darwin. 2 pumps. What do you got?
Yeah, Darwin was mentioning this catalyst on Apple. Apparently, the analyst was talking about the Apple TV Android integration, which is, I think, a catalyst that we brought up
breaking out
earlier. But yeah, that's certainly worth noting here. Thank you to Darwin for bringing that up. In case anyone missed it, I want to get this headline better, but I know we were talking about the fact that Android phones are now going to apparently have this Apple TV Plus, which, by the way, I know I always, and Sharif knows this, I always used to say that Paramount was the least user-friendly of these apps for watching things online. I actually think it might be Apple TV because Paramount's up their game. Because Paramount, I would always complain, used to not be able to go, like, I found it pretty inconvenient to go back 10 seconds or forward 10 seconds. I find that a lot easier. If you use Apple TV or if you download movies or shows on Apple, like myself, then you have to use the same platform. And if you even like scroll, you run the risk of them thinking you want to close the tab. And I'm like, I still want to watch my Law and Order, guys. I just want to also check the weather or check the time. So anyways, regardless though, if you are an Android user, I do not want my little petty squabbles to stop you from using this app. I'm going to check on this news here quickly, and then I might have to move my stop on Lily, because Lily's breaking out, guys.
You want me to cover Apple?
Do you mind covering Apple?
Of course.
Sorry, I just wanna deal with her.
Here it is, baby. All right. Shout out to the good folks there at Benzinga. Let's bring down the headline and have a read here. Apple expands Apple TV Plus to Androids. Eyes subscription growth and ecosystem expansion, says analyst BOA Securities analyst Wamsi Mohan. Maintained a buy rating on Apple with a price target of $265. Apple recently announced, as Adira mentioned, Apple TV app will be available to Android mobile devices, including phones, tablets, and foldables. Instead of accessing Apple TV Plus using a browser, Android users can actually have a better experience. So that kind of we already knew. Now, what's the new information? From Apple's standpoint, this announcement can help increase subscription revenues in the long term by making Apple TV Plus more readily available and convenient. Okay, we already know that. Where's the new information? In addition, users can subscribe to the MLS season app. We already knew that as well. While the impact of the midterm revenue and EPS may not be significant, making more Apple apps available on Android can help increase brand awareness and beyond the iOS. Okay, that's great. Anything else here? Mr. Mohan? The analyst expects Apple to continue investing in original content. Neil was just telling me about a really good show on Apple TV. Neil, again, Silo, thank you very much, says it's really good. Overall, he assumed lower gross margins of 30% for the streaming subscription services versus the overall Apple service gross margins of around 70%, which is now a $100 billion a year business. Adara, we are breaking out here on IV Dandy.
Nice.
So we're going to take some profits on this bad boy over here. Good move here for Ivid. Very pleased with this Ivid.
I'm just laughing at you calling it Ivid. I'm not at all laughing at that trade because that is not a trade to mess with. That is beautiful, Sharif.
I appreciate you. I still got unfilled though, Adira, on MLGO. Where's that at? Show yourself, MLGO. Yeah, no, we're not even close here, Adira. So I don't think these entries are accurate anymore or relevant. So we're going to take them off and allow MLGO to set up in a different way. I'm also involved again in SINT back in 90s. What the beak there into 6, but it's having trouble with VWAP. I'm in here as a second trade on Cint because it pulled back into the volume weighted average price. I'm looking for a hold up here. Going to take it out if it breaches 80s. Adira, what do you got?
I was going to say, I don't think that ML wants you to go with you. Doesn't want you to ML go. I'm sorry.
It wants me to ML leave.
Oh! Wants you to ML go away. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to make puns about the fact that the stock won't let you in. But thank you very much to Fugazi Bear for the incredibly kind $2.99 or $1.99 super chat, $2 super chat. My trading is better because of Adira's research. Bare hands. I don't know if that's true at all because you're the one making the trades. But thank you very, very much for the kind words. That really does mean a lot to me because, I've talked about this. I miss this desk. I have a lot of fun on this desk. I'm happy I got to be back here a couple times this week. But I do love doing the research as well. And I love making my little infographics. So it means a lot that I'm able to help someone in any way. Thank you. Shout out to Randall Laguerre as well saying hi. I'm going to say hi to everybody here. And if you guys have any tickers you want me to look at, tag me, let me know. I am not super well versed in small caps. I know Sharif's gonna be looking more at those, but if you have any other tickers you'd like me to look at, I'm always willing to take a stab. Right now, though, go Lily. I have a 5-minute prior bar stop on my girl Lily. So my stop was, what was this, like 891.44s is where I had it. And so Lily gets to 44s on the bid, and you know what she does?
What?
Starts creeping. She's like, going back to the upside. So I got long here 880, 869s. I wanted to add back in when we got this pullback to 888s. Didn't get filled. That's okay. As Sharif says, sometimes things are going to set up a different way. And if it's like MLGO and it won't have you, you just got to ML go away for a bit, come back if it sets up. I'm still in this trade. We've got 75%. And I do not have a profit taker. I took some more time on the daily chart and I was like, Adara, if you put any profit taker at this point, other than 900, it's going to be incredibly arbitrary. And I don't want to do that. I like what Obi said about Unity, which I really do want to congratulate him on that Unity trade.
Good
like
job,
sometimes you don't want to take too much profit, right? You want to sit and wait. If there's no profit taking level on Lily for me and I don't see one, then I'm just going to wait and I'm going to chill. I know I did take some out early at 892s, but just given how bearish that book was getting, and I stand by it because it gave us back 4 points in 3 minutes. Sometimes you gotta be a little bit preemptive about it. Got to get it where the going's hot. But right now, I have no reason to leave Lily. So I'm really happy with this. Let's take a look at a couple different people mentioning Ozan saying,
Get it, Ozan.
China great again. I mean, I'll say China
Ozan
for you.
kills me, bro.
Shout out to Ozan's killing it. Go Ozan. Also, JF Trader wants to look at AT&T, so I'll take a look at AT&T for y'all, of course. So AT&T, I actually, okay. Do you want the daily? I'll take a look right now here on the 5. So this is the 5 minute. It looks, I'm not gonna lie, it looks a little bit toppy to me. We have this nice push to the upside. Then with volume, we start getting a little bit of selling. We get this pretty violent pullback candle. Then we get another pullback candle, a bit of a topping tail. I think if we break the 90 MA, that might be a bit of a rough look, but I'll take a look at the daily for you, JF Trader, because I want to make sure I have oh my gosh, this might have been what you meant. We get a pushback for this daily chart in the, yeah, I mean, JF Trader, if you're talking about the daily, you are not wrong. This is just beautiful.
Obi was complaining yesterday that screws were falling out of that chair. So I want to put you on notice, Adara, that, Obi, pushbacks are very, we love them. We love the pushbacks. But you may be putting yourself at risk here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh boy, is what I say to that. But yeah, thank you for letting me know, Obi. Sorry that you dealt with that. So AT&T, this daily chart. Also, I got just stopped at a Lily, just so you guys know. But AT&T, this is a beautiful daily chart. We push beautifully. I mean, I have nothing to say other than this is just straight upside for AT&T. NVIDIA, someone was mentioning here too. NVDA says, someone was no one mentioning NVIDIA? Did I make that up? Oh, PLTR. Someone mentioned PLTR. I think I might have hallucinated the NVIDIA mention, but if I didn't, let me know who you are. Palantir, we're going to take a look at here for sure. And then someone asked me about MSTR, which I love looking at. We'll start with the 15 on PLTR. Wow, Palantir.
Get it, Palantir.
Get it, Palantir. I mean, right now, though, Palantir is actually okay, I like this level. So this pre-market support here yesterday at basically 107s. Guess where we ended up rejecting yesterday?
Where?
The same area, 107s.
Really?
Then today, look where we start rejecting.
Where?
107s, Sharif. So I'm going to have 107s PLTR. I notice you're on watch, Palantir. Got to kick out one of these guys off my side chart because I like this level on PLTR. This is a nice look. On a wider time frame, though, it is worth noting we did make a lower high today than we had yesterday, so that's not a bad look by any means. We're going to look at something else, and MSTR. MSTR is one that I mentioned I trade pretty frequently because it is a rare spready ticker that kind of gives you movement almost every day. So I like this MSTR. It's not quite a double bottom because we did look a little bit lower here, 317 halves, but 317 is a bit of an area of support on MSTR. I remember that day I was short like 333s MSTR, and then it ended up bouncing 317s, which is so arbitrary. 320s, it kind of didn't give a hoot about, but 317s, it was like, oh my God. So I've noticed 317 as a level for MSTR. I find it interesting. Now, where would I be going if I want to take it as a long? Because I don't like it as a short right now. We're making higher lows. I want to see what we do here at the almost 321, 21, 21. More realistically, at 320.85. That's the long that I want. And before I send you back to Sharif, because I've been yapping a little bit here, I want to look at Ms. Lily. So Eli Lilly, I did get stopped out. I got wicked out here. I did have about 80 cents of slippage, which I don't love. But I'm still proud of the trade, happy I took the trade. And if we want to break 894, I'm actually tempted to go long again, should it set up. Please just punch. I stuck to my plans. I stuck to my rules. There's nothing to be upset about. Sometimes you get wicked out. You got to brush that dirt off your shoulders. Shout out to Jay-Z. And you got to keep on climbing. And also with all these rap references, I have to thank Sharif again for a lovely conversation we had about the Drake-Kendrick beef.
I needed to
because he was
know it,
asking me
Dara.
about it, and I have way too much knowledge about that, so it was good to kind of talk about that more in depth. Sadie B asking me about CEG. I'm going to talk to you about that after because I love that stock, but I want to send us back to Sharif.
Yeah, well, you need a deep dive done,
Yeah, I
or
love
you want
deep
to you want to find out some more information. There you go. We got. She's not the human algo for no reason, guys. All right, guys, we're doing real well here on SINT. I'm in at 90s, just wet the beak there at 14s. Now I'm waiting at 18s, and then you know where I'm waiting about that, but at 23s. This is up 27%. Reason I got in. Here is because it's a VWAP hold, but it's a 20 penny spread right now. As you just saw, the ask is showing 11. The bid dropped aggressively into 90s, literally where I'm long. So be careful with this one. This obviously has a very wide spread, an unusually large spread for a ticker, its price, and for its kind of its category. Let's call it that. SINT, let me give you the deets on it. $8 million market cap, so needless to say, it's a very, very small market cap here, with the company being, just tiny. Let's have a look at some other information on it, other than just saying it's tiny. 1.34 million share float, which is very small. The short float, not really impressive. I gotta tell you, about 2.58%, nothing really to write home about there. I don't expect any short squeezes, but because it is a small float, a little float, 1.34 million shares, that by its very nature can cause it to become parabolic as liquidity or, supply, I should say, is scarce. 1.34 million shares ain't nothing. It's already done 2 times float rotation. It's at 2.23 million shares, meaning that all the outstanding shares have been traded already once over, excuse me. So, no, twice over. So this one is a little illiquid at the moment, but we'll pack our patience there. We just got a nice move up. I'm waiting, as I mentioned, at 17s. I'm still very interested, guys, in MLGO. I mean, it's kind of doing a bull flag right now. This could be the second bull flag, so maybe I should be weaseling in here. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That's exactly what I'm going to do here. So we're going to risk a little bit. And we're going to punch in, and I don't mind adding into 6. I know that punching in at these highs, not the smartest move, but I don't mind adding into this. That's the thing. And there we go. Oh, wow. Wow, bro. This thing is on one right now. So there we go. We're taking some profits to the high side. Let's see if we can cross 75s. There it is. 88s. We're taking more out there at the top. MLDangGO. Nice breakout. Now I'm going to wait north of 7 on this monster. It's probably not going to break 7 quick as you like, but, we'll take a shot. 89s, 90s, 92s now showing up on the ask. So we'll see if this one can cross. We're long 52s right now, so definitely not at a dodge because, well, it's quite close to my area. We're showing 94s. Here we go, 95s now. How many shares do I have? There it is, 98s. Go, go, go. We'll take out here. Boom, Madeira. We're taking it out on the top side. Very, very pleased. There it is. Do the break of 7. Give me my damn money, boy.
Give him his money.
Yeah, so very good. Very pleased with this trade. Let's go back into the other one. Bang again on SINT. We take out both orders at 17s and 25s. Pleased as dang punch, as the girl to my left right there always says. Guys, MLGO is still going here, baby. Big moves to the high side. Here comes 750, 744's HOD. It's up a light 540%. No big deal. Nothing to write home about there. I'm jesting, of course. Let's keep an eye out on this one. I did like this consolidation area right here. I don't know why I'm pointing to the screen. You can't see that. This area here, I perceived it to be the consolidation area of the second bull flag. Bull flag number 1 starts here, tops out here. We get a little sideways consolidation. The big boy breakout comes above that 5.5. And yet again, we get a nice little bull flag with that kind of continuation in the side, or sorry, that consolidation in the side, and then the big boy move up. This is the 5-minute chart on this name. So if I go to the 1, kind of see it a little bit less clear. So I'll leave this on the 5 so it is as clear as can be. So pleased about that. Now let's go back into SINT. How many shares do I have left on this thing? SINT, we got a couple of more outs. Okay, so it's coming back down into 6. You can bet your bottom dollar not going to allow this to go more than 5 pennies against me. I have 90s there. We're going to move up the stop into 84s. So we're going to go ahead 584, and then we're going to give it a little bit of room because it's a spready one. And that's what we'll take out there. I know. Anytime you hear spread, you get excited.
I do.
Even if it's a small cap gapper. I
gotta get
don't like
excited.
these small cap gappers with wide spreads. But
apologize.
I love your enthusiasm. All right, here we go. We're taking out that old stop there. And let's have a look at the other one that we're trading. VVD. I've been waiting at 168. That's gone unprinted. We've had a plethora of fills already on this monster. I'm waiting. There it is, baby. We get that fill at 168. Now it's showing me 69s on that on the level 2. Now there's a 70 print. Boom. Now we're gonna wait at 75s. Pleased as punch. What are you doing over there?
Yeah, I'm looking at some things. I said I was going to look at CEG for Sadie, so I'll do that first too. But yeah, I mean, Lily just kicked me out and kept going, so we'll talk about that in a second. Wow, CEG down here. So CEG is a utilities play. It and VST tend to move in sympathy with a lot of these AI-related names because of the data center connection. CEG does an umbrella pattern here, basically right off the open. We push lower, we come back up, we pop up a VWAP, and then we're like, yeah, actually, no, I'll sell. And we push to the downside. Now we kind of might be trying to umbrella again, except now we're actually grabbing onto that 9 EMA. So I would like to see us push above that 295 area. With CEG2, I've always said this, I prefer to trade it on the upside because I find I actually have one, and I only use this playbook for my utilities names. I don't know why. I find they move really specifically. If these utilities names are breaking out on a catalyst, I find they're usually pretty good for a new high of daybreaks. So that's the play I only really, or the way I play it, I only really use with CEG or VST. Daily chart here, this is a little bit muddier. We have a very clear lower high. So we double top this 351s. Then we double top 330, 330s. Now we're basically pushing below. We actually pushed below previous support here around the key 300 level. So we're going to have to wait and see what we do here for CEG. Kind of no man's land for me on the daily chart. Now, what else am I looking at for myself to trade right now? Because I apologize, I'm not in any trades, and it's not for lack of trying. MSTR. I said I wanted that that 21-21, and I feel like we might actually get this. I like what we're doing on the book. I like the entry of 320.85s, and I'm cool with risking to the, we'll do the prior bar low here on the 15s. That would give us basically 319, just shy of, just above 319. So I want to do that. You're risking about 2 points, but with MSTR, I have no qualms about doing that because you usually get a pretty decent move. But I will continue to wax poetic about MSTR after Sharif does his ad read.
President's Day savings are here. Get 22% off all new subscriptions with code TRADERTV22. But wait, there's more. Upgrade to premium annual and snag a massive 28% off with code TRADERTV28. You got 2 codes there, okay? That's right. Huge savings are happening now. Head on over to the 2025 President's Day sale landing page, link below. It says before February 19th, but I'm willing to bet you it's probably still around, so don't miss out. Get that deal now. Shout out to Trade Ideas. I'm using them every day, baby. Great platform and great company. Go ahead.
MSTR didn't want me.
Oh.
I tried to get Filthy or Sharif right before we got the breakout. We were at 320.70s on the bid, 320.90s on the ask, so I knew if we break out, I might not get caught. I go to press my thing, and then already we're at 321. So I said, okay, MSTR, that's cool. I can respect that. No, I'm joking. It's not, you're not emotional while trading. I'm just sorry I'm not in a trade for you guys, honestly. But I have been trying. I also tried to get into this Tesla short. I mentioned I was in this short earlier. When we broke back below 345s, I wanted to get in. Could not get filled, but if we come back to 345s and reject, I am in that like hotcakes. I want all that smoke. I want literally every piece of smoke that's going to give me. Also, MSTR might actually give me another opportunity here.
Nice.
So I want to make sure we're not okay, it's a little bit risky now. Yeah, the book's getting a little too shortish for me. So I'm going to wait here on the MSTR. If we continue to kind of get that bid creep going, because right now we're creeping on the ask. And as I've said, if I see this slow creep to the downside on the ask, like we're going 320.68, 69, like I don't like that. We're going to have to wait and see what happens. TSLA, like I said, I'm interested in a short if we get back to 345. Lily. Miss Lily, you know, she's out here breaking my heart. We had that breakout long. Happy I had it. I'm not going to lie. I ended up getting stops out of the, I made profit on all of it. It's fine.
Nice.
But, thank you very much, Sharif. But if we want to break, like we look honestly like we're curling again. I got stopped out basically bottom wick. Isn't that fun when that happens, Sharif?
I hate
talk
that.
about that too.
It's not fun.
I don't love it either.
Yeah.
But I have one of 2 ideas for Lily here. Shockingly, one is long and one is short. So we break 894, I'm going long. I'm cool with that. If we can hold 894, and right now I'm tempted to think that's the case because we're doing a bit of an ask creep here, then I would like to take it short. And I'll show you what gives me confidence for that short too. This is my trading view chart. This is an exact double top here. So the top of the previous candle, 894.38, and that's likely on the ask because I didn't see us touch 94s on the bid. Then the current candle, 894.37, that is a lower high. So literally, I went from loving you as a breakout long to kind of coveting you as a breakout short now.
Uh-oh.
But I want to see us break below the 90 MA, and I want to see us close this 15-minute candle before I make that decision. So, Lily, you have 2 minutes to save the world. You know, sorry, Madonna, JT, we're not 4 minutes. We only have 2 minutes to save the world on Miss
like that one.
Y. And I want to shout out Obi because he talks a lot about your candle close. He's been very generous with his time. He and I will talk like, you know, at like 4:30, whatever, after the recap about trade. So shout out because the prior bar thing, I've talked to Sharif a lot about this too, really saves your trading. I find it really helpful. I find it a really good. Like,
Can I do a little bit of a deep dive there?
I like that.
You changed your prior buy stop from the 3 to the 5. Am I getting that
It depends.
correct?
So it depends on my
it's
entry.
contextual?
Yeah. So one thing that I like, the contextual is a great word there. So one thing, and again, I want to shout out Obi for this, is usually like what's helpful is if I get in, for example, in the 15-minute, then I might want to take out half if we break the fire bar 15, but then the rest if we break the fire bar 30. So why is this good? Because sometimes the stock will take its sweet time to move, and it will never break the fire bar 30, but it'll give you a heck of a time with the fire bar 15.
Interesting.
So I had an earnings trade. Was it AbbVie? No, I think it was one that was more. It was Amgen. It was Amgen. And so Amgen, it was funny because it kept breaking the prior bar 15. So I would keep taking pieces off, but it never broke the prior bar 30, which I know sounds strange, but I promise did happen. And so basically, I had pieced out almost the whole position, and then we had the prior bar 30. Never broke, so I was able to take the rest of it. So that's why I think it's a helpful tool, and I want to shout out Obi for that. Also, Lily, I think it's time to go short. I'm going to be waiting for my entry here. I want to see Celsius is a blast off, says John Del Senio.
Yeah, it is, man.
I
It is
sipped a
blasting
little
off.
Celsius this morning, so yeah, this heading into whole other degree of upside over here on CELH. But we're still pretty removed from highs. That's a bit of a topping tail candle here.
I saw that pun.
Oh yeah, I did.
Degree,
Yeah, very much.
Celsius.
I mean, it's got some energy to the upside, Sharif.
Energy drinks. The puns are coming fast and furious. By the way,
Yes.
I just wanted to put it out there now that he's next to us over here. Obi openly challenged you yesterday
No, you
in a
didn't.
pun contest. I said, I think you would win. He said, I'm going to bet on myself, right? He said that.
Obi.
Yeah, look, you know, there's this stuff that Obi excels at that I wouldn't challenge him on. You know, trading Amazon, mean reversion trades.
make fun of
Those are Obi's cup of tea, and he should not be challenged on those.
No.
I don't want to challenge you with puns. Obi's a brave soul. I got to give him credit there. But Obi, hold on. Joe and I have 2 bets on right now. We got a push-up bet. Right? We're going to donate money to charity. And we got the Bitcoin $125,000 bet. I think it stands to reason that if you and Adara are going to challenge each other, there has to be something on the line, Obi.
What's going to be on the line?
I don't know. You guys come up with it. But you can't just be, oh, hey, we're going to challenge each other.
Yeah.
There's got to be skin in the game, baby.
I agree.
What is it, Obi? Come with it, baby. He's coming in.
I don't know.
no.
I think let's see.
Oh, boy.
We'll think. How about this? We'll think of something.
Yeah.
Fair.
You know,
Gotta
got to put
kick
some,
the can down the road.
got to put some risk on for
Fair.
sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, we'll think of something. We'll get back to you guys on that. But yeah, we can do that.
I like
I'm down to
it.
have
I'm
a
down.
pun off. I'm down to have a pun off. You guys want to arrange that? But you know, a very strong and worthy opponent, to say the
thank
least,
you.
is Adara. But I'll try. I'll do my
You're going
best,
to
you
kill
know?
him.
But yeah. Anyways. See you guys.
All good. Love Obi. All right, guys. Here's a shout out to everybody in the chat, man. We loving you guys. We're having a good time. Los Polos Hermanos, make a poll between Obi and Adara's puns. We can decide. That's not a bad idea, bro. I actually don't mind that at all. Put it to the people, so to speak.
Yeah,
John
I
Del
like that.
Segno. Let's get an Obi versus Adara poll. Yeah, you're basically echoing what he said there. I like it. I like it. And then again, native New York. Are we going to be the judge? I think you guys should be.
I think you
Neil
should.
just said yes. So I'm gonna have to echo that sentiment. I think that's fair. Oh, you said yes. Well, it came from that side. I couldn't tell who was saying what. I apologize. All right, guys, I'm going to cover all the small cap trades that are the ones that I'm watching, but I just want to let you know I wet the beak again here at 75 pennies on IVVD. This one's continuing to the high side. I get MLGO is all the rave right now. It's up 548%. It's knocking the door of $8. We'll get to that in 1 second. It's top left-hand corner, as you can see there. But I want to cover this for Big John Del Segno. This is a beautiful looking recovery here on CELH, earnings winner from yesterday. As you can see there, it popped off aggressively there in the aftermarket after they after they announced that they were acquiring this, what's it called? Something new?
Alani Nu.
Alani Nu. Yeah, shout out to Raheem Alani Nu. Good look there, and definitely was a bit of a bamboozler in the pre. Get it, Ram? Yeah. Okay, I've got stuff to say to Ram later, but we'll
You always have stuff to say to Ram.
Good times, good Friday. Guys, no, seriously though, we're taking the volume weighted average price like it didn't even matter. We're above these area highs at around 33. I'll submit to you, 33 was a tough level to clear here on CELH on the way back up. We rejected it over here, dropped back down to 31, consolidated at 33 for about 10 or 15 minutes, and now we are making higher highs and higher lows. This looks like a decided trend to the upside. We'll talk about this Alani Nu company. Very interesting take here. Started online by this influencer woman who is now probably a billionaire. She got bought out for about 1.3 and change of stock and cash. So yeah, man,
Wow.
American dream. Yeah. I'll get to that in a minute. I got notes on it from this morning. So CELH on one right now, guys. SINT, good trade on this one, but I got stopped out for the last 2 outs that I had through the break of that the 580 or 590 area that I was in. I got stopped out 584, so we'll give back a little bit there. What's going on? IVVD off the highs as well. AIFF, this is a sponsor of ours, obviously, Firefly Neurosciences. I like this trade, but it's going to have to work its way up above 8.5. 8.5, not just for the $0.50, but because it's straddling VWAP from the south side. This is not the trade that I want. Shorts would like this trade, right? Because you're keeping it below the volume weighted average price. So if you're looking to take these small cap gapper style stock short, this is kind of what you're looking for VWAP to act as resistance. That ain't my style. I trade these long. I'd rather not take them short. So if it works its way and stays above VWAP, it can't just wick above VWAP and then come back down on its merry way. No, it's going to have to hang out above there. So we'll see what this one does. But I like this one. SABR. This is a beautiful looking stock on the day. Not up big percentage-wise, only 11%, give or take, but an incrementally higher high and higher low step up with the volume-weighted average price acting as an obvious level of support. That 4 1/3 would not have been a buying area for me had VWAP not been there. So saber rattling, all the shorts to the long side over here. Good look on that one. APLD as well. This one, less interesting to me. And I'll explain why. So this is putting in lower highs. So it looks like as if maybe the shorts are now in control of this monster as it incrementally puts in lower highs. And it's also trading below VWAP, and it also hasn't respected VWAP as a level of either support or resistance. So, I mean, it zigged and zagged through it there. The VWAP here doesn't look like support or resistance. It looks like a line of best fit. And that is not why or how I use VWAP, so it's going to have to either respect it or, I'll look to see on my side charts if it's basing its levels off something else, maybe the 10 or the 20 exponential, and I don't think it is. So those are the ones I'm looking at right now. I also have CYN, but this also broke down below VWAP, kind of looking very similar to AIFF in that it had a big bull flag up and then now using VWAP as resistance. Last but not least, TXMD. That's the middle one over here. This looks like a W pattern in either case. What the hell happened over here? Show yourself. All right, well, we're going to bring in the side chart over here while we adjust that. TXMD, it's kind of, it has its moments. It's able to break above VWAP, a buck and 2/3 a high of the day, but it's having trouble staying above it. So unless and until it can get above there and stay above there, I'm going to stay hands off. All right, MLGO rejecting 785, so it wasn't able to work into 8, but look where it's coming into. the 10 exponential moving average. And if you've ever watched the show and seen me trade these small cap gappers, I've said once and I'll say it again, I use the 10 exponential relative to the price action to gauge overbought and oversold conditions, mostly overbought conditions because I don't short these. So what do I mean by that? When the price action gets extended away, and I don't have an exact price, okay? It's more by feel. Extended away from the 10 exponential, I like this one to pull back, get closer to, doesn't have to touch the 10 exponential, but it has to come closer to, otherwise I feel it's a bit extended and I won't punch in at those highs. Right now though, it does look like it is defending that 10 exponential coming into 6 2/3, right back above 7 it goes, into about 7 1/4, 7.15. We'll have to see if this one's setting up for a third bull flag on the day. MLGO Adara up 520%.
Oh my gosh, just a light 520.
Just a light 520, not a big deal.
But yes, I was short this Lily. Like I said, initially like the 892 break. Then sometimes what I'll do is I'll use areas that I was going to use as my entry as a stop if I notice we're basically staying below them, right? Or staying above them if it's a long. So I got short here when we broke that 890, 60 area, basically around the area I got stopped out because I noticed that was a bit of an area. We broke below it. I got short. This worked for about a point, and then we kind of came back pretty violently. As of right now, I got stopped out top wick, so, pat myself on the back. No, I'm joking. That's
Frustrating.
Not fun. It is frustrating, but, Sharif, it's all
Okay,
good.
it's okay.
It's
You
cool.
move on, yeah.
I liked the short. I get why I like the short. It probably would have been pretty short-lived anyway, actually, pun not intended. So we're going to have to wait and see. I will say missing that Tesla 345 short kind of cooks my biscuits a little bit or whatever phrase you want to use. But yeah, I mean, and now look now, Sharif. Now Lily's doing the ask creep so beautifully, and she kicked me out, I don't want to rush back into this. I don't want to do that. But if we break below this kind of little trophy area here, what is it, 890, 889, 70s, I'm tempted. I think right now she needs to figure out what she wants to be when she grows up. But if she does that, I want to get involved. What other stickers are people looking at for me? Someone mentioned, Grab. It was Grab Holdings. So I knew it was one that I would not necessarily be my cup of soup, but I definitely want to look at the chart for you guys regardless, because that is what we do over here at Trader TV Live on this midday show.
Do you like pho?
Like pho?
Yeah, pho. Yeah, I know. Most people don't.
I've never tried it. I don't think.
It's not spicy.
No, it's not that. I just don't know if I've ever. I don't
Because you
remember.
said soup. And,
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I tried that Dawn where they mush it in the bowl.
worry about
recently.
it,
That was
Ram.
really good. So Grab, I have to say, Grab looks like. There's no lit Grab here. I think with Grab, what happens is Grab could not grab onto VWAP. And right now, I don't think I'd be grabbing Grab. I'm going to be honest with you. We had this beautiful push to the upside off the open.
Holo
Really
is breaking
great
out.
look.
Yeah.
Then we make a slightly higher low. Then we make a lower high. It looks kind of bull flaggy, but since we can't hold that $5.04 level, I have to say, Grab is not something I'd be grabbing here. We're also now rejecting the 90 MA. But we're staying above the $5 level, so if you can hold $5 support, maybe of interest, but the fact that we're rejecting previous support is a little bit yucky for me personally. Yeah, I'm not rushing back into Lily. I don't have any reason to. I stand by the trade I attempted. Sometimes you can try a trade, you like it in theory. It doesn't work, that's fine. On to the next one, so that's cool with that. UNH, though. UNH is getting interesting here. We are below the 90 MA, but more interestingly, Sharif,
Yes,
would you call
ma'am.
this a flat bottom break at VWAP? Because I think I would.
Oh, absolutely.
That's beautiful.
Oh, God,
That's
yeah.
beautiful. So what I'm waiting for is I'm waiting for a break of this low here in the 15 minutes. So these 15 minutes are getting smaller and smaller. I'm going to use my trading view to do a lot of my charting on here now. So we're by VWAP. We're by a VWAP. This candle low here, this is 56.85. Previous one, 56.69. One before that, 88. So I want to see here us break probably in mid 456s to get comfortable. And you wouldn't have to risk very much because prior bar high is pretty small. Yeah, you're risking 2 points, which for a spready taker, that's heaven. Sometimes on Apple Oven or Lily, you got to risk 4 or 5 points. So I'm if all I have to risk is 2, I am very cool with that. I have no qualms. I'm qualmless, Sharif. So I'm going to be
heard that in
watching.
a while.
Yeah, right. It's been a minute since qualmless. So what else do people want to look at? Tag me, let me know. Thank you, Robert Kirkwood, for the kind words.
Shout out to Jay Lee, the OG. Holo is doing Holo things because, if you've traded small cap gappers before, you know all about Holo. I'm in it right now at 73 is what the beak up there into 77s, high of the day. It's coming back down now. That's fine with me. I'm very interested, though, in getting more at that $1.60. Okay? The reason is that $1.60 acted as a whole bunch of resistance earlier in the day. It didn't look like a flat top breakout, but you guys get it. You know, when we come into that general area, $1.58, $1.60, $1.62, that general area does seem to have a whole lot of selling initially on the day. So I'm not in much of a position right now. So let's go ahead and throw some resting entry orders on this bad boy. So I'm going to put the first one, excuse me, a second over here. There we go. Now we're going to wait there at 69s. There we go. And then I'm going to wait a little bit lower as well at 65s. We'll throw one there, and then I'll eventually wait all the way down at 61s to defend that 60 level. So that's my move right now. I've de-risked a little bit on the way up, but I want to see what Holo has to do here. There we go. Now we got some there in at 69s. Now I'm waiting at 65s and again 61s. Anything I would say below 56s, we're going to give up. We're going to have to get out of the trade because that's no longer for me at that level. So the 10 exponential moving average is at 57s. VWAP well below. VWAP is at $1.50. So it's going to have to hold up definitely above that level for me to stay interested there. Let's go ahead and throw out some orders if we can. There it is. There it is, right back into the high side, HOLO. Let's keep tabs on this one. 76 is now showing up. I'm waiting at 77s and then 78s. Let's see if this one wants to keep popping off right now. HOLO, the book is super, super dense. As you can see there, look at the amount of just orders sitting there on the ask that are churning. Look at how the time and sales, look at the size of these shares coming in on the time and sales there. So very thickly traded right now, not giving me the 77 prints despite the fact that it flashed 77s. We'll pack our patience on this bad boy. I'm still waiting up here near the highs on HOLO. Shout out to Jay Lee for shouting out this bad boy and calling it out. How many shares do I have left? I'm going to keep my eye on this bad boy. All right, so we're holding some shares here. I'm going to take that one off. I'll take that one off as well. I don't like that. I don't like that. Let's go ahead and wait a little bit higher over here. I don't want to take out too many too quick. And then we're going to wait. You know I'm going to wait at 82s. You know I'm going to wait at 82s. I'm old. I'm 100. Okay, I was born in 82, so that's kind of why I always sit at 82s. Here we go, 78's now showing up with the size getting taken out there. Well, rejects a little bit on that level. I'm also keeping my eye on Holo, guys. Holo has defended the 10 exponential moving, MLGO. I'm obviously on Holo right now. I'm keeping my eye on MLGO before we send you to Neil's lesson of the day. It is currently defending that 10 exponential moving average. This could be the second formation of the bull flag. I would not expect the same length of consolidation. Sometimes when you're on that second or third bull flag, the consolidation sideways takes a little bit longer to manifest and then break into the high side. That $8 break, though, should be on everybody's radar. Neil, what do you got for us today?
Welcome, everybody, to another lesson of the day. Don't bet against Adara in a pun battle. That's number one. So, look, I love Obi. Obi's my boy. We all love Obi, appreciate, shout out, all that good stuff. But Adara, I'm just saying, I think she got you. We need to figure out some terms up in this, and then we'll be able to get that done. Now, obviously, that's not the lesson of the day. I always sort of start it with some nonsense and then go into the real thing. Preparation. I only have two examples here, but they both fall in the same line when it comes to your market prep. We always think of our market prep as what are the stocks I'm looking at, why, what are the big themes, what are the ideas, make a watch list, make the price areas you want to trade around, make a little bit of a trade plan, like all of that stuff. There's a few things out there that I think can get missed along with that plan. One, which I do every single day, and I manage to do, make sure you go over what were the things that worked the day before, like if maybe they're not popping up, what were the things that worked the day before, and what are the things you had the good read on that you should be revisiting, they're at the same price areas. That's an easy part of the prep. Two, if you're going to execute in the stock, start thinking about a few things. Oh, I like the short in XYZ, and this is where it all comes from. It's down on earnings. Now, when did we know this was down on earnings? Last night. So I already knew this is a possible short opportunity. When it was trending down off the open, again, I knew it was a short possibility, but the little things. Do we have locates on it? Here at Real Trading, shout out to Real Trading, scan the QR code right in front of you. It's a complete coincidence. Here at Real Trading, if it's not easy to borrow, we can pay a ridiculously small fee. Just as an example, MLGO cost 0.000091 cents per share. For a stock, it's up 500%. Block is essentially nothing. It's basically free, but it's a small fee, and you just have to go in and do it. It takes about 10, 20 seconds to do, maybe faster if you're faster on your keys, but I didn't do it. And anybody want to guess the exact moment that I realized that it wasn't easy to borrow? When it was trending up at the open into the resistance area I wanted to short off of, broke trend, and I went to punch short and didn't get any shares. And that's because I looked and saw the message. I'm like, what, did I hit the wrong key? Oh, there's no locates. And I'd missed the curl. By the time I got them, it was a little bit too late, but it just comes down to preparation. You know the stocks that you're interested in trading in. You should know what markets they're on. You go back. I should look at every time frame chart for XYZ, block. All these things need to be done. The other thing that you should do, especially during earnings season, is, and I do this, I'm going to try and show you the iPad here, right? Like I got an iPad up. Why is it not? There we go. I got an iPad up. I have all the symbols I'm usually watching. If it's a number next to it and some notes, then it's got a key level that I'm playing off of, or it might be an idea that I want to trade. I'll pick usually the best of these that I like. But if I have a name on there and it doesn't have a number next to it or a level next to it, it's because it's in play or a usual stock that I just need to go over. Now, when there is an earnings name that was a big mover, even if I don't have levels or didn't trade it the day before, it's on that list. And it's on there for a reason, so that I will call it up and look to see if there is a trade, because it should be part of the names that I go over. Now, I didn't trade Carvana yesterday. However, as you can see, there's a pretty good reason why it stayed on the list. Down, continuation when it lost a key price level, and a tank off the open. Now, I'm not saying I would have caught this trade, but I didn't even have it up, and I broke a rule. Like, I have it on the iPad because it's an earnings day 2 play, and look at what happens. At the open, it flushes off of a pretty obvious level. Like 246 is either a breakdown, or you could just say the afternoon resistance at 250. Wherever the heck you get in that range doesn't matter. It's a continuation earnings play. And this is part of your daily preparation. Everyone always thinks about, oh, the money, all of the money that you make is going to be, I picked the right stock to buy and I was right. Or I picked the right stock to sell, and I like that's where you make all of your money. That's a part of it, 100%. But the other part of it is in the work that you put in when the market's not even open, or when you're not even trading. And that's that little prep. Do I have locates on the thing that I might short today? If I looked at all the stocks that are on my list that should be in play to make sure that I don't miss a really good trading opportunity, a really key price level, it would have only taken me an extra couple of minutes out of my morning to find Carvana. But I just didn't, I just missed it. And sometimes that's going to happen to you, but that's what preparation is. It's not just what we all think of, the simple, okay, yeah, I've seen all of the gappers on my list, and let's leave it at that, and now I'll just worry about what prices I want to buy all the best stocks. It's not that simple. There's always more work to be done. Just because you didn't trade it yesterday and it's in play doesn't mean you shouldn't look at it to try to find an opportunity, because a lot of your job as a trader is to find opportunities and then wait for them to give you the trade. So you can't find them if you're not looking, and you can't execute them if you don't pay for the locates, Neil. So make sure you're prepared, everybody. Just take sometimes a few seconds out of your day to make your day. That's your lesson of the day. And that worked.
Hello, everyone. Sorry, just lozenging. We have re-upped on the Advil, and we are ready to go here for the rest of this afternoon. Again, I apologize, a little bit sick, but certainly not sick of these here markets, though I am sick of, as I was telling Sharif, getting randomly wicked out of things. So let's talk about that. UNH, I love this flat bottom break short. It looked great. You know what it does? It goes and wicks me out. And it slips me. But you know what? That's okay. Because it is what it is. That's the thing. I know that's such a trite saying, but that's the truth. And you're not going to get 100% of the trades you make, but I followed my rules, so I cannot be too pressed about this. Now, would I trade UNH again? I would have to check. I need to check how much, because I have like a rule about how much I'm allowed to trade again on tickers that I've lost on, just so I can, try to spread evenly and not lose everything on one ticker. But if we break above this 459, I kind of like that. I like that as kind of a reversal, but it looks like much like what a couple other stocks have been doing today. It wicks me out and then continues to do what it was already doing. So good times. We're going to wait and see here. Do you want to talk about MLGO? Are you still? Oh, you're not.
No,
I'm sorry.
no, yeah.
That's a crazy move, though.
It's insane. All right, guys, sorry to interrupt you there. MLGO is flying here, guys. We're up 665%. This could be the second quadruple digit winner of the year. I forget the name of the first one, but we had 1,000% winner. I'm talking about these above $1, right? Maybe we've had them south of $1. I don't know because I filter below 85 pennies. But this one is on one. It's bull flag after bull flag after bull flag. I perceive us to have had 1, 2, 3. This is the fourth. If you look at it on the this is the 5-minute chart. This is the fourth bull flag. Bull flag, very simply, a move up. Typically it's a diagonal move up. Sometimes it can be horizontal because the price action can be so aggressive. Then you have a sideways period of consolidation for a little bit, and then it breaks above that consolidation area again. Wowzers, this thing is on 910 high a day, not punching in at these highs. I should have been taking it in the mid-8s here for the break into 9. That was a mistake by me, but I was just coming back from the bathroom. And this one, I got to show you guys the side chart over here. Look at the respect, the just ridiculous amount of respect that this has for the 10 exponential moving average. And that is the green solid line on this chart, right? Like, it doesn't even breach it, Adara. All the times that it pulls back, it is just holding on to the 10 exponential. So if you're able to shadow the 10 exponential, or if you've got the compunction to be able to do it live, well, then do it, because we're doing it live. No, seriously, though, guys. MLGO, there it goes again, new high a day. Yeah, I'm just not punching into these levels, but I know a lot of you guys are taking it, and fantastic trades for you guys right now. I can't punch in at these levels in good conscience because it can turn back against me and get ugly real quick. You could lose $1 quick as you like on this. So I'm going to vote long, obviously, on the Playmaker poll. Shout out to, obviously, the Playmaker, and then Joe, who came up with this whole thing. So I'm involved right now in Holo. I'm involved in IVVD. Both are very close to getting stopped out. So maybe we will concentrate fully on MLGO if and when we do get stopped out of HOLO and IVVD. HOLO, I got to let you guys know, I got a couple of beak wetters left here. It's either going to break 80 or I'll get stopped out. Simple as that. Okay, I'm not taking it out before that. IVVD, this looks like it's breached the 10 right now, the 10 exponential on the 5. I'm talking about IVVD. It's at the 20. Here's the deal with this one, though. Look at this price action resistance. We'll see if it's support this time around. I'm talking about that $1.56 to about $1.58. All right? What does this mean? Oh, well, typically sometimes with these small cap gappers and just technical analysis in general, when you have an area crest and then you clear that area crest by some distance, it then acts as an area support. So I perceive that area crest to be about $1.56 to about $1.58. So my plan, oh my God, MLGO is 737%. That's just crazy. I look away for a second, it's got a 10-11 high a day. But back to this one. So if this comes into my area here at $1.56, which is exactly where I'm in, I'm going to give it to about $1.54. So I will risk a couple of pennies on this one, but I'm going to be very interested in adding to this position here on IVVD at that level if it does hold up. Now, I don't have to be quick to add, okay? Excuse me. I'm going to move up my stop because my stop was below $1.44 because that was the area crest. I'm going to move it up to about $1.49. And I'm going to watch to see what it does in and around this area. I will add into this area if it does hold. Now let's go to the one everybody wants to talk about. MLGO. Back into $10. There's a seller there. He just got blown through like it doesn't even matter. 10, 11 high a day. We're zigging. We're zagging. A bit of sell right now coming in at that $10 level. Should be expected. Not only the whole dollar level, but it is the $10 level. So you'll be seeing a lot of profit taking. We're about to hit 800%, but there's a whole lot of push and pull, tug of war right now between buyers and sellers at this $10 level. We clear it, and then shorts are either coming in quite aggressively or people are taking profits at this level. So there's a whole lot of chop and churn right now. Make sure, please, you know, we always say this because we want you guys to be around as viewers, obviously, because that's how we do well. And the only way you guys are going to continue to watch is if you've got an account to trade with. So don't blow it up. Use sound risk management skills with MLGO and all these other very volatile small cap gappers because they can be quite bamboozling and quite dangerous to trade. So if you're not experienced with them and you want to get involved, trade with something small, get your feet wet, learn the ropes, and then, you know, then really size in there once you feel that everything is kosher on that end. So we'll continue to watch MLGO right now, guys. Great move up and a good look. What you're doing, Steph, bro? What are you doing, Steph, bro? That's a crazy name, all right. Sharif, Adara, do you guys know why crypto names are down even though BTC has been up? Good question. Let's have a look at crypto. Well, crypto technically now, at least on my watch list, is down 0.5%, but everybody's is a little bit different because your reset for percentage up or down the day could be different than mine. I'm not really even sure when my platform resets, but I see it down at about 98,000 right now, down 0.5%. You're absolutely right. All the crypto names on my watch list are negative. With the exception of HUT 8, which is up 0.82%, but nothing for me to do there. Won't be trading these. I don't know exactly why crypto's up, but we've been doing that, you know, the dance that I anticipated we would be doing between 90 and 100,000. That's been the case for the most part. We've had our occasional break above 100,000, but my bias was genuinely that we would range from 90 to 100,000 for, I don't know, a period of months, weeks. We'll see until we get that big boy catalyst. I'm assuming that big boy catalyst is going to be that strategic Bitcoin reserve or another, you know, central bank, foreign or sovereign wealth fund, whatever. Bigger institutional buying, bigger, you know, nations or central banks buying this and holding it as an asset. I think that will be, that's just my opinion. That will be the, you know, the thing that moves the needle over here for crypto. So we'll keep an eye on that. All right, guys, MLGO is coming back down into $9. It's an ugly looking topping tail candle right now. So we did reject 10 technically. And now we're back down to about $9. I'll keep my eye on this one. We'll see exactly what we're up to there. The Hayes records, $800 on the day. Could have been more if I held my ES short. I'm going to drop the cash for you, Hayes. Number one, because you're trading the ES, which is the big boy futures trade, as opposed to the small boy future trade like me. I used to trade the MES, and that was still dangerous because it's a prop floor. And, you know. But yeah, shout out to you, my man. That's a big trade on your part. We're going to shout you out. Good futures trade there, no question about it. Drops trades. Sharif. Can you pull up MLGO chart and zoom out and show them how last time this went up around 20 and then dumped so they know what they're dealing with? Thank you. Well said. Let me just have a look quickly at this holo over here. I'm waiting at 79s. It's showing me 79s, but like last time, there we go. Now we get the print on holo at 79. Please, this punch. Let's let that one cook, and then we'll have a look at MLGO so that I can kind of explain my point there, and everything can be good. All right, so let me show you the daily. This is kind of what I mean by these are around for a good time, not a long time. Imagine being up here. And this is it's split a zillion times since this, so it wasn't $3,500. It's reverse split, 100 times. But imagine being up here and holding that down, right? Like that's what I mean by that. Like, and you can tell this is a former runner. Now this, to make my point though, this can be a good or bad thing. What do I mean by that? Well, I want to know when I look at the daily that this is a former runner. Well, why? Because I want to know that it has the propensity and the ability, Adara, to be able to run that 80%, that 100% on the day.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So what I do is I look at the daily chart to see what it's done in the past. Now, that's the good side of things because I'm trading it intraday. The bad side of things, if you're trying to invest in this company, you hate life. Well, clearly, look at this
so
thing,
dark.
right? Yeah,
But I
it's
mean, you're
dark,
not
I
wrong.
know.
Yeah.
Right? That's the situation. So when I look at a chart like this to a person who is an investor, they're going to be like, what is this garbage you're looking at? And they would be right. But to me, I'm not an investor, at least in this stock. I'm day trading this stock. So I want to see that it can do these type of moves. But thank you very much to Drop Trades. Makes absolute sense for me to show you that. Jay Lee, MLGO market cap went from $12 million to $120 million and say, that's the way these do, Jay. Go Rats. Sharif, Trump signed an executive order to control something near or the SEC. I don't know anything about that, to be honest with you.
I'll look into
SEC,
it.
yeah. Adara's, well, you don't worry too much about it over there, especially if you're trading. I'm just looking at the top screen over here to see if there's anything SEC related. Not that I'm seeing, my man. So once we get eyes on that, I will report on it. Joseph Birch Music, shadow theory. I don't know what that means, Joseph. What does that mean, Adara?
I don't know what shadow theory means.
Jag, Sharif, ES on an expanding triangle on the 30 minutes starting the 14th of February. Easier to see it in the 30 minutes and using regular trading hours. Regular trading hours. Now you're talking my language, my man.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
No extended hours over here.
Yes, so let me take everything out there. Let me show you. I've got it over here. So here's the ES. Let's go to the 30. So for this particular chart, I've removed pre-market trading and after-market trading so that I could have the clear look there. But let me just remove pivots because they distort the entire situation. So this is the 30 right now. So Jag says, Jag, my man, I like the way you think. Okay, so 61.60, flat top break, and then you're looking, I think this is what Jag means, that ascending wedge, starting from January 13th, it's been higher low, higher low, higher low, and a higher low, baby. Yeah, perfect. I know I suck.
I like it perfect.
All right, no, but here's what I mean. Let me show them, Andre. It's this right here. So I'm assuming this is what you're looking at, Jag, right? That ascending wedge. This looks awfully flat top breakish. I'm bullish on the market. I've made that clear in my thinking and in my what I've said. So yes, I completely agree with you on this. This is an ascending wedge on the ES. It's a 30-minute look, the March contract. Shout out to Jag. Good look there, my man. Joseph, shadow theory is a Ross Cameron thing related to the look back on the chart. I did not know that, and I follow a lot of what Ross does. Thank you for letting me know that. I've been seeing what he's been doing lately. He's been printing up a storm on some of these small cap gappers. He's a good trader. Yeah, I know there's a lot of theories about him. I don't subscribe to them. So that's my little 2 cents on that. What are you doing?
I'm short AppLovin. I got short. So I want to clarify. I know sometimes we'll talk a lot about getting into trades at low of day or high of day. This is actually a strategy of mine, and I have no qualms about doing it. So I did get short AppLovin low of day. And as you saw, I also got long MSTR at low of day on Wednesday, so I have no problem taking these low of day trades that they set up for me. Why did I do this? So look at this. This is just beautiful, Sharif. Like, we get a little swoopy swoop. We get a rounded top, if I've ever seen one, and we just quadruple. So I got short 427.50, currently at 423.50. I want to take a third of the position out at 422.07 because that was a little bit of an area here. Because if you see, we're really in no man's land for AppLovin because we haven't really been, I mean, we kind of pushed past this area on earnings day one. We haven't really chilled there since. But I like this too because this 427.50, that was also yesterday's low of day. So if we're past today's low of day, if we're past yesterday's low of day, I have zero qualms about shorting this thing. And I gave it 2 points of risk, which for something like AppLovin, actually pretty good. With that in mind, I could have and should have taken more size on this, but I also wanted to give myself opportunities in case I want to get involved in anything else because this is a bit more of an expensive stock. I like expensive stocks. If I'm going to put all my buying power in AppLovin, I can't go with Tesla, or I can't do the dance with CrowdStrike, right? Both of which I'm looking at today. But before we go, we actually got a piece out. Nice. So we're third out of AppLovin. Like, what was this, like 5+ in the money? So I'm cool with that. My next profit taker is going to be 417s. So I should probably get that set up. Other than that, I'm going to leave a piece.
Nice trade, Adara.
I'm going to move my stop too on this pretty quickly. So that's going to be, I'm doing prior bar in the 3 because with these ones that break down, I don't even want to give it to the 5. I want to be quick with it.
Makes sense.
So we're going to do 426.79.
Yeah,
where
and
my
this
stop at.
thing moves dollars at a
Right?
time.
Yeah, exactly. So 426.
I got to do this quick ad read.
Perfect. Do that.
Yeah. All right, guys. Unlock the nuclear renaissance with Foremost Clean Energy. Leveraging one of the biggest mega trends on the planet. We're talking about nuclear energy, baby. Partnered with Denison Mines with properties strategically located in the Athabasca Basin, known as the Saudi Arabia of uranium. This undervalued company is poised to capitalize on the exploding nuclear market and offers unparalleled growth potential. The future is nuclear. Foremost is your energy on the NASDAQ under FMST and on the Canadian Stock Exchange, the CSE, under FAT. FAT.
Where's
Or
the
go to foremostcleanenergy.com for details. I do like that ticker, Dara.
I like the ticker. It's a fun ticker. I was just surprised by it being. It's funny because I've seen someone in the chat sometimes saying, is FAT a buy? And now I feel like maybe they were talking about Foremost.
Well, that's
'Cause
on
I was
the
always trying to
CSE,
figure
though.
out.
That's on the CSE.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well, still, because I don't even know if there is a FAT on the NASDAQ or the NYSE. So either way, shout out to that person, whomever you are, because I got a kick out of that. But yeah, you're right, Sharif. That's the thing. That's why I like to keep my stops tight on these breakdowns on these spready tickers, because AppLovin has already bounced pretty significantly, but I'm chilling. Because I have a stop. My stop's at 426.79, so we might get stopped out. That's cool. If it's slippage, it'll probably be pretty bad, but that's fine because we're chilling, because we're not emotional when we're in these trades, Sharif. I am pleased as punch with this exit I had. Like, I'm really pleased. And in case you're like, why did I choose this kind of arbitrary looking area? Basically, what I do sometimes when I don't know where to take profit on these is I'll kind of zoom in on the 15 and see were there any interactions. Back on earnings day, we did have a couple bounces here at that level on the 15 on earnings day. So there we go. And yeah, so we end up getting slipped pretty heavily. And with that in mind, I get stopped out. Drum roll, please. We got to keep 15 cents on the remainder of this position, but that's cool. And now it's going to reject again. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like, what one thing I tried to do, and I want to shout out Sean for this, was give my stops a little bit more room to breathe, because I used to set them like basically exactly where the level was. Now, if I'm going to do prior bar, for example, the prior bar 3 actually was 426. I think it was 74, so I gave it 77s or 79s because I wanted to give it a couple pennies, right? Sometimes that still doesn't work. Sometimes it does, often it does, sometimes it doesn't, but that's cool. I'm not going to chase back into this, even though I did get stopped out top wick, because that happens sometimes, and you got to move on, you got to chill. Very pleased as punch with what I did with that, and we did make money on the whole position, but again, it wasn't about making money. It was about taking the trade that made sense to me. I really liked that trade. Now, what else am I looking at right now? First, I want to do a moment of silence for the shorts I wasn't able to get filled in. MSTR.
Do we have that Undertaker thing, Andre? I don't know, because that was Fabian's
I'm
thing.
going to put some violins here. I tried to get short MSTR through 1930s. We're now at 316.30s. Some sad violins for me. Tried to get short Tesla, 345 breakdown. Didn't get filled there either. So I only say this, there's like, thank you. Yeah, I mean, the sad, whatever the minor key depressing version of that is. But anyways.
Minor, huh?
Yeah, so, I mean, I'm a music person, right? Major and minor. Major sounds usually sound happier. Minor's a bit sadder, so it's like, ooh. Anyways.
My joke.
What did you say?
A minor.
Oh!
Like,
I didn't even hear you say it. I guess the stock, I don't know if the stock's not like us, but it certainly didn't like us, or by us, I mean me, because I did try to get short. I didn't get filled, but that's okay, because you got to keep on moving. Got to keep going. MSTR might actually give me another opportunity for that short, Sharif, because look where we are right now. This 317.40. I like this 317.40 area. That was support. There, huh? Oh, I think so too. Yeah. I would need to figure out where to risk though, because we're coming into that mighty fast. AppLovin actually might break back out of that time. So I'm watching AppLovin. I'm watching MSTR. I'm still watching UNH, but I don't think I can take another trade off that based off my rules. So we're gonna wait. And Lilly has just been hanging out like in a $2 range. And for Lilly, $2 is basically a spread. So I'm not touching that unless it makes a decision. So MSTR likely is short for me. And AppLovin, I want to see what you got to give me over here. How are you doing?
Okay, so here's the deal, Dara. We're going to be at 10-minute halt minimum right now on MLGO. Here's the tap. The theoretical auction price is a little bit higher than what I reported to you guys earlier. It was $5.99, $6 when I was responding to people in the chat. That has since moved up to 6 3/4. Still well below that 713 halt level. So just to keep everything kosher over here, we did halt at 12:17.50. The current time on my watch, 12:26.32. So we are, if this is going to be a 10-minute halt, we have another minute and a half, minute 20, for this bad boy to unhalt, to open up again. So keeping tabs here on MLGO, very interested, is still dealing with this. It's a little bit below the 10 exponential, but that's fine. It can quickly reclaim it. Volume weighted average price, just for context over here on MLGO, sitting right at $5. So we're well above VWAP. We're also a little bit above the 20. Not like I want to base anything on the 20 EMA, because it really hasn't danced with it at all. It's been more respectful of the 10. 675 right now, bless you, Ram
Bless
Ram,
you.
is where we're at on the 20 exponential moving average on MLGO on the 5-minute chart. So I'm keeping tabs on this one. It's up 520%, was up much higher when we were up at that $10.11 area. That is the high of day right now. So we're getting awfully close to that open time. We are, I think, if this is going to be a 10-minute halt, we're about 13 seconds away, 10 seconds away now from opening up. So let's watch in real time to see whether this is going to be 10 minutes or we're going to have to add another 5 minutes on this. I want to let you know if you're a newer small cap trader or a newer trader in general, here it is. So it is a 10-minute halt. We are now open. Where are we at? So we're zigging. We're zagging. We're south of 7 right now. Let's see where the buying goes. Up into 90, seller at 87s. Pushes this one back down, trying to hold the $0.50. Again, I want to remind you guys, the VWAP is at $5 area, but we also have price action, support, and resistance to deal with here. What do I mean by that? Well, this is one of the bull flags. I perceive this area from over here, right up here to be a bull flag, and this being the consolidation area. So that's the 6.5 area where we consolidated. We are defending 6.5 for the moment, underline that for the moment, but we're also straddling 7 as resistance. So we're locked in a bit of a $0.50 range right now. Here's 7. Above 7 we go. The selling comes in aggressively, coming right back down to 6.5. Do we hold 6.5? For now, we do. So we're still straddling that $0.50 range right now, with support to the south side being that 6.5 and 7 acting as your big boy resistance. Coming down now below 6.5. So this one is giving up the bid a little bit here. Let's see if it continues to move back down or we move back up into 6.5. MLGO on one, baby. Now, if we give up 6.5, what's the next price action support level? Because we have $5 is where VWAP is at. So that's still a ways away. I perceive 5.5 to be that next area of possible support, despite the fact that VWAP's at 5. Why? Because look at that price action crest there right at 5.5. That's one of the other bull flags that I perceived us to have formed on the way up. So we'll see if, number one, we reclaim 6.5 quick as you like there. So number one, we'll see if 6.5 gives up here. If it does, I'm looking at 5.5, then 5, and then below 5. It's not tradable under my system. I won't be trading it below the volume weighted average price. I can promise you that. So right now, it's hands off. I don't know what the hell it's going to do. Is it going to take 7 or is it going to lose 6.5? I don't know. And I don't feel bad for not knowing. So let this one cook, let it manifest, let it do what the hell it wants. And when it's ready and then it's got a trend under its belt and we can discern that trend, I'll get involved with Dara. But right now, it's a candle of indecision that just closed right now on the 5-minute, a doji candle with equidistant top wick, bottom wick. It's trying to work its way back into 7, but this is a candle of indecision right now at an area of indecision. I won't be touching it until it figures what it wants to do. So that's the look there. What do you got?
I was going to say, so what you're saying, Sharif, is there's a little bit of indecision.
A little bit.
Just
Did I say that enough?
I don't know if you did, though. That's why I wanted to clarify, Sharif. Anyways, all jokes aside, shout out to Sharif. Shout out to Lily. You're going to push back.
Is that 2?
I think it's been 2 now, because I did the one for the AT&T daily chart.
I
but,
need
like,
that screw's loose there, okay. Dara. You better be careful.
Oh, yeah. Obi's going to, like, start. He's just laughing over there all mischievously. Shout out to Obi eating that chicken. How's the chicken? Is the chicken good? The chicken's solid, apparently. So shout out to that. I took this short on Lily, and I tried this earlier. Did not work. It's cool. We got wicked out. It's fine. But then we broke that area again, and we actually had more lower highs, so I could risk a little bit less. So I got short 890.50. I basically posted mid-print, and I'll explain why in a second. I'm risking to the current high of the 15-minute, which also happens to be this kind of trough high here, which is basically 891.90s. Now, why? Okay, now we're breaking down, Sharif. Why did I do that? I'm going to take out some 888s. So I did this because sometimes, and I've talked about this too, sometimes with these spready tickers, what happens is you're not going to get printed if you sit and wait. You have to basically strike. And when I start seeing things I really like, I realize that Dara, patience and sitting pretty ain't always going to cut it. So I wanted that 890 breakdown. We're at 890. I think it was 890 10s maybe on the book. Or on the bid, we're pretty chilling on the bid. But then the ask start to creep to the downside. So we're at like 8, I think it was like 890, 99, 890, 98, 97. Then we go to 86, 72. And I'm like, Adara, if you don't get short now, you're never getting that short. So I slammed into it, pushed at 880 or 890.50. So I basically like midpointed it.
Adara,
Was
I
able
have
to get filled.
I'm
Please
sorry.
interrupt.
Viking Therapeutics, guys, is skyrocketing. There's news coming out. It came out 27, so that's 5 minutes ago. Unconfirmed rumors from M&A blog about a possible acquisition. Shout out to Bovin, man. Thank you for pointing that out, Bovin. I didn't have eyes on this. Viking Therapeutics rocketing up from 32. We were trading at 31.60. Up in a straight line up to 35.60 right now. It's up 11.5%. This is the headline. Watching, I don't have any more information than this. Watch, this is Benzinga. Thank you, Adara. We'll give it to you in a sec. You got it? Go ahead.
So yeah, apparently something called Betaville is circulating that PFE, Pfizer, might be specifically targeting Viking Therapeutics.
Thank you. VKTX Escape Planet is the ticker there. VKTX. Traders circulating confirmed rumors from M&A blog about possible acquisition. Let's see how this one wants to trade. Do we get that big boy kind of pullback right back from the depths of where we came, or do we kind of have that continuation? It's not a bad spread right now. 11 pennies, 35 high, showing me 89s there on the low. Okay, so now it's tightening up a little bit. 5 penny spread. Let's see if this one wants to continue on its merry way. VKTX is one that we know. It's been a small cap gapper before. It's not a small cap gapper in the technical sense. It's about $3.8 billion market cap, but you know, it has these outsized moves. So VKTX dropping off though. It's about $1 off the highs, 35.60 give or take is the high. Down into 34.60 we go. Could we see a bit of a bull flag here? What's the situation? So this one is going to work its way onto the side chart. We're going to replace APLD. Yeah, we're going to replace APLD. VKTX. I just need to see this on the 5 a little bit clearer. Well extended away from VWAP. Here we go. It's reclaiming 35. I'm getting involved here. Let's try to take this bad boy to the high side here. What do we got? 22s? I'm riding on 22s, baby. Let's see if we can get that move up. I actually do have 22s on my car. Like, that's not actually a joke. That's genuine truth. So we'll see exactly there. 35.22. Oh, wow. It's really dropping. That was a dangerous trade for me. All right, here's the deal. 34.50 is going to be my line. They're saying I will not allow it to go more than that. So we're going to go ahead just like this. Allow me a second here to kind of get my bearing straight. It looks like I may have punched in at highs here. Probably not a good trade. But yeah, whatever. We're going to give this one the old college try. I've already put in my stop. So if it gives back, it gives back. Let's see if this one wants to run up here. I'm still not seeing anything new coming into my headline, despite the information that Adara did give us there. But I'm well out of the money. 35.22s. It's showing me 50s now. I'm about to get stopped out of this one. So we'll take our first L of the day. No worries. And that's kind of trading here. I see you, Tisha. MLGO back on one right now, trying to take out 7.5, but it's having trouble, Tisha, with that $7.5 area. So I want to see what it does above 8. Look at this area, Tisha. We had trouble with this area before we moved into 10. So if we can clear this 7.75, maybe 8, I think it's a bit of a better trade there. Oh, I did get stopped out, sadly, of VKTX. So we'll take an L there. Dang, bro. Get back some money there. Didn't like that. But we'll look to do a little bit better right now. So VKTX stopped out. Too bad.
I will say that I like that you still took the trade, because one thing I work on sometimes too is like you want to take a trade, but you're like, oh, I'm in the money. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. They're kind of
right. But if you have the opportunity, sometimes you have to take it. It's always going to be a bit of a catch-22. So I mentioned earlier I had my sad violin solo because I missed this Tesla short. But Tesla, I mean, I was in it earlier, obviously, way earlier. Tesla might give you this opportunity again here, Sharif. Yeah, we're going to try this here. 340, let's do 30s, and we're going to give this, we'll get in here, and we're going to risk here too, 341 30s, because I know that's the point. I'm not giving it that just because it is a point, but because I think it is the fair risk. Because why? That is A, basically the 90 MA, and B, it's the top of that little consolidation range. I find, oddly enough, like trading on the midday, maybe because I don't think I'm feeling like I'm forced to take more trades. These are the same type of trades, but I like prior bars. Sometimes the prior bars aren't going to give you the proper setup. In this case, I think this little trophy top-ish area with this double bottom is the appropriate area to go, because if we get above that, then I'm clearly wrong. But I like the selling coming in here. I like that we're at 340s. I want to see us crack below 340, Sharif. Will we? I have no idea. I don't know. But I like a low of daybreak. You saw AppLovin, which is now broken even lower. I like that type of setup too. That's really my steez, if you will. It's my type of trade. So we're going to wait and see if this happens. Lily, though, Thank you, Lily. Please just punch with my girl Lils. Why? Because Sharif,
ma'am.
we're doing quite nicely here with our friend Lily.
Hey.
We got short 890.50. We are currently at 887s here on Lily. And I'm going to be taking out another piece at VWAP, not just because it is VWAP though, because it's above this little chippy choppy triangle we broke out of. Now, I want to get a little bit before that triangle because with spready tickers, if you want to get out, for example, like right at example 900, if you're long, I would do I like doing 889.50s or something, right? You want to give it 50 cents because they could be slippery on you. Slippery. Those amigos. So I want to be aware of that. I want to be cognizant of that. Bernard Tan Youngin saying, think Tesla should be going to 330 with a little smiley face with his tongue sticking out. I mean, I would love that. So thank you, Bernard, for saying that. I think Tesla would like that too because, Sharif,
Yes, ma'am.
we've broken lower on Tesla. We're almost a point lower from my entry.
Ridiculous.
So I am not going to be, this is not a situation where I'm going to be like moving my stop crazy. I'm not going to be taking out any profit here. I think right now a reasonable stop would be 340.15s, which was that prior consolidation. If I'm going to use consolidations to get in, I should be using them to get out. So I'm not moving the stop yet, though. Right now, I don't really see that I have a reason to. And I think part of why I got stopped out of this Tesla short prematurely is because I think I moved my stop prematurely. So with that in mind, what else are people looking at? Please tag me, guys. If you have anything you want to see. Mama said knock you out, says Tony. Shout out there to Mr. Cool J. I like that. Jag saying, Adara is the pun queen. Obi has no chance. Feels similar to your I bet that was Joe. All hail the queen. I mean, I don't want to say, I don't know if that's true. Some people were saying they like Obi's puns better. I think we did a poll once too. Like, do people prefer Obi's puns or Adara's? And people, I think, voted for Obi over me. So I want to give Obi the credit where credit's due. Obi's looking very mischievous there. Oh boy. Oh, those eyebrows.
How's the food? It's good? We got a new caterer. So I don't know.
I like the new caterer.
Yeah, so do I. So I don't know if the big boys talked about this on the big show, but we have a new caterer as of this week. Oh, baby. That's all I got to say about that.
Me too.
Sandwiches on sandwiches. Yesterday we had, oh, you weren't here yesterday. We actually got boiled eggs.
Really?
Yes, and I took quite a few.
Apparently, Obi stole my food, so I mean, it makes sense I wasn't
Well, I
here.
mean, you weren't here.
That's fair.
Right? Like,
That's fair.
we can't get that.
But like, while I'm not here, Obi's taking my food and starting pun bets with me.
And he was quite confident yesterday at Dara. He
Apparently
was
so.
very confident. He's like, I'm going to bet on myself, and you know this. I'm just teasing.
No, we're joking.
I'm
It's
playing,
all
brother. I love
smiles
Obe,
over
man.
here.
I love Obe.
Shout
All
out.
right, guys, I'm doing well here. I got stopped out of that piece of crap stock, VKTX. Oh my God, it's rocketing to the high side off VWAP. I traded that one wrongly. But in any event, I'm doing well here on IVVD. This is taking out the highs. IVVD just took out 77s. I'm waiting at 82s. Just because I'm superstitious like that. I'm going to look for a decided high at daybreak. I mean, we were at 76s prior to that, so 77s, not exactly a huge move up. But this is what I'm talking about on VKTX. I traded this one incorrectly, and that's going to happen from time to time, especially if, you know, it's a breakout stock midday like that. Let me show you what I did wrong here. This was a textbook hold, bro, on the volume weighted average price. Top pink tail candle comes right into VWAP, and all the buying comes in aggressively. So people had this traded the right way. I traded it incorrectly. Here it comes into highs and about $2 off that VWAP. It didn't spend a lot of time there, okay? And if you were trying to get filled a lot of shares that you may not have, this 5-minute candle had about 732,000 shares print. So there was enough liquidity probably to get in, but unless you had a resting order, you may not have been first in priority. So VKTX still headed to the upside over here. Good look for this name. Let's keep an eye out on that. But MLGO is also recovering a little bit. But Tisha, I don't know how you feel about this. It's been having trouble with 8, and it's continued to have trouble with 8. I think I was talking to you about this 10 minutes ago when we were still south of 8. So it definitely feels like the selling is a lot stronger right at this 8 level than it was at 8.5, 9, 9.5, maybe not 10 because we ended up topping tail at 10, but we're having a lot of trouble with 8 right now on MLGO. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. If it wants to continue to the high side, I'll get back into this bad boy. But it's all about how poorly I traded VKTX. That's occupying my mind right now. Look at that recovery, and I got stopped out twice. I tried on this one. Here it comes. It's going to take out highs, 35, 57. We're showing 44s right now. on VKTX. We'll see if this bad boy wants to continue up to the upside. Mr. Long Shorts, I only got filled small size, took the scalp looking for lower, but I may miss it now. Thanks for the heads up. No problem, brother. You traded it better than me. Jay Lee, Holo is still a play off 150, it seems. I'm keeping an eye on it, Jay. HOLO, there it is. So I got stopped out break even for the remaining amount there, but I did have a high day print. I'm keeping an eye on it simply because it's at VWAP. But I'm not going to get in, just because it's at VWAP, because it could lose the bid. It's been down to, I believe, $1.34, so it could easily see that level again, Jay. And besides, we're putting in lower highs right now. I'm going to pack my patience on this one. If there's a trade to be had, I'll jump all over it. But for the moment, gonna steer clear. Sharif, I could have bought the deep dip, but didn't. Sitting currently waiting for the trade. Get it, Tisha. Tisha, small cap gapper trader, guys. So if you're looking for those small cap call outs, whether it's in the morning, she's there in the morning in the chat, or whether it's midday, sometimes she's with us midday. Shout out to Tisha, great trader, and keep your eye out on her levels of there.
Yeah, I'm still in both my shorts. I'm chilling in both my shorts too. I'm actually I'm not even moving the stop line Tesla right now. Like I said, if I do move it, it's gonna be to this basically just above 340s. But right now I'm gonna chill because I do not want to be premature. Don't want to be hasty. I'll give you a try. But if you stop me out, then I will say goodbye. So tell me what I want. I want to take profit on Tesla. No. Yeah, I don't even need to take profit on Tesla. But Sharif, I have to say a big thank you to my girl Lily.
Okay.
Like,
how's she doing over there?
She's beautiful. She's beautiful. Look at her.
Can I tell you? I was looking at the same trade. Great for you, though.
Thank you.
That's a great trade. Where are you at right now? 884. So we have the same thing. Yeah. I was looking at. I was like, is my chart frozen or something like that?
No, she's
great trade there.
Thank you.
So where are you looking to wet your beak? And why are you wetting your beak at 883? What's the move?
Well, I like. Okay, do you see kind of these interactions here? We have this kind of push into. Yep. That's why I like 883. Okay. At this point, I've took out 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. I'm holding the last 40%. Oh. I'm keeping that last 40%. I'm doing what Obi did with Unity. I'm just gonna let that hang out and chill and do what it wants to do.
Apple's breaking out aggressively.
Oh, is Apple breaking out aggressively? Let's find out more news here on Apple.
I don't see anything. Do you?
I'm looking here on X.
Huge breakout here for Apple. Ridiculous bull flag right there, guys. We got the big boy breakout through the top. 247.50, give or take, was the top end of that bull flag. It was foreshadowed by higher lows, and here it comes. That is an aggressive buy there, aggressive bid on Apple. I'm not seeing anything other than the fact that they pulled out of their data protection service in the UK, which I could not be more pleased about. I'll wax poetic about that later.
There is something else.
Go.
So apparently, this was 50 minutes ago, though, but it could explain this. We already heard reports that Tim Cook or Tim Apple had met with Donald Trump. And now apparently Donald Trump has said that he met with Apple's Tim Cook and said that Apple will be building plants in the U.S., not for Mexico. Some people are speculating apparently that's good for the U.S., but bad for Apple. I'm not sure if there's any veracity to that. But either way, I think it's worth noting that this did happen. It was reported earlier, now confirmed by Trump. He and Tim Cook had a little bit of an iMessage. No, I'm guessing they met in person. But you know what I mean? They had that FaceTime.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna lose, bro. I'm sorry, but are you noticing what's happening over here?
Did you see what John Del Senio put in the chat?
What did he say?
Adara is the pun queen and Obi is the innuendo prince. And I mean, I don't think he could even argue with that because, I mean, innuendos are happening all over the time from that side of the desk. I mean, I've said cameo. I feel so badly because I'm always putting on this man's name. But
what's happening, Tisha? MLGO's breaking out. I missed it. I'm sitting there like a schmuck looking at Apple. Yeah, breakout there on MLGO. There it goes, right above 8. Now we're starting to squeeze a little bit over here, but it's still a little bit thicker. But it's good. It's a good look right now. You can't expect it to move in the same way that it was before because there's going to be bag holders at 8.5 and 9 and 9.5. You guys get it. There's bag holders likely up until 10 that may want to get out of Dodge. And also, there's people that like shorting these bad boys at the top. That's not me, but there's lots of people that do that. There was a trader on the floor here. That was his modus operandi. He'd look for shorts for a big squeezing stock like this and then wait till the area he perceived to be the top and then would go all in on the shorts. And that's a move as well. So I'm going to keep my eye out on this one, certainly MLGO on one. But I wanted to point out the clear divergence today between Apple and the overall market. I'm just going to show my, what's it called over here, the Mag 7, because there's going to be a trade on Apple here. Now, I don't know exactly how to do it. We'll have to watch. But everything in Mag 7 world, literally everything, down and to the right. Most of them are at lows. Apple is at highs. So clear divergence right now between the rest of even like Uber and Netflix, neither of which are Mag 7 names. They're both down and to the right. They're both at days low. So there's got to be something afoot here with Apple, some sort of trade that we can have that we can extract some profitability off of. It's just about who I'm going to remove over here to put AAPL. Let's keep an eye out on this one. Let's see exactly where I'd like to weasel into this one. Okay, so this is still well off the highs. I'd like something possibly around maybe down into about 247.80. I don't think I'll get that. Probably 248 is the worst it'll do if it continues to trend in the upward direction, but I'm not punching it at highs. I just won't. Yeah, but this is taking out the day high right now, so it's on one. Let's see how far or aggressive this bad boy goes. AAPL, Adara is at the day high.
Yeah, I mean, someone's certainly chomping at the bit to get involved in that name, that's for sure. Chomping at that Apple bit. Now, Lily is being like an angel. I'm not going to talk about it right now because I think it's getting boring. As Hearst Scrambler said in the chat, Lily has in fact broken VWAP. Lily is just flying to the downside, losing a little bit of weight there off that, which is funny because I said I wanted to see that 888 breakout. I thought if it broke that level, that we would have a really great breakout. And it gave us it was pretty flimsy. It gave us 5 points. I was in the breakout. I'm happy I was in the breakout because I've been looking for that, as I said, since earnings on Feb 6th. But it was a little bit more anemic than I was looking for.
Okay.
But in the meantime, add.
With an FDA-cleared proprietary database of over 77,000 brain images, Firefly is transforming healthcare with AI-driven diagnostics, providing a clear, data-backed understanding of brain health. After more than a decade and over $60 million invested, Firefly is advancing the commercialization of its brain networks analytics platform, bringing the technology to clinicians and pharmaceutical partners. Firefly is enhancing the diagnosis and treatment of conditions such as depression, dementia, anxiety disorders, concussions, and ADHD, while also accelerating drug discovery and early screening for conditions like Alzheimer's. Guys, check out Firefly trading under AIFF. And by the way, up about 18 to 20% today. So not a bad look at there. Sorry to interrupt you.
It's okay, yeah. And CEO Greg Lipschitz, he actually appeared on the show this morning. So shout out to Greg.
Apparently we were him for a little while.
We were him. Yeah. His name was us for a little bit. But yeah, shout out to our boy Greggy. Go Gregs. Also, go Tesla. Because I was just about, and I think it's good timing. We had the ad read, and thank you, Sheree, for the ad read. Thank you, Firefly. And before the ad read, I was going to call Tesla my problem child. Like, Lily's so well behaved, and Tesla's being all naughty. But like, Tesla's actually doing the thing, I gotta say. So I did move my stop. I know I said I'd be a bit more patient with this, but I stand by this. So where did I move my stop to? 340, 21, 21, 21. I'm going to admit the 21 here was kind of arbitrary. I really could have done anywhere in 340 teens, but I did not want to get wicked out. So that's why I did to 21s. And I said this to Neil too once on the recap. If there's ever an opportunity to take profit or risk into 21s, I'm going to take it. I'm just going to do it. If it's near there, like Neil has 42s, you have 85s, I have 21s. So that's cool with that.
Like that?
Yeah, no, I think it's pretty cool. But anyway, so TSLA. I actually am really down to add, and I'll switch to the 5-minute because I have the 5-minute on my side charts for some reason. Sharif,
yes, ma'am.
If we break this flat bottom break at this 339, I'm adding to Tesla.
I like that.
I'm not going to add like a ton, like I like my entry, but I'm willing to get a little bit of extra meat into this position. And by that, in terms of proportion.
Are you going to shrug?
Yeah, I'm going to do. Oh, thank you, Sharif, for mentioning my favorite moment. And this is actually stock related too. So I don't know if anyone, we all know Phoenix, our boy Brian Nickel.
There you go.
And so before he was the CEO of Starbucks, the stock that Obi mentioned this morning, he was the CEO of Chipotle. And while he was the CEO of Chipotle, he had a little TikTok video that I was obsessed with, where people were like, Brian, people are weighing the bowls, and there's like a massive weight in the difference of these Chipotle bowls. Bri, why is this happening? Why, Bri? And he was like, well, you know, all you have to do is just go to the counter and give them a little. and then they'll add more for you. Our guys and women, and like, we'll add more. And I was like, the way he worded it was like so 1970s. Like, I've loved Brian since that moment. I did add to my short here. So let's go. Get it, Tesla. Get it, Brian. I'm not moving my stop. I like that 340-21s, and I still like it with this average.
21.
Yeah, 21. Though might have pulled a bit of a fast one here with BTSLA, but we'll have to wait and see. Like I said, I'm not panicking here. I checked my chart. I have no reason to like be hasty getting out of this. I don't even see a profit taker for Tesla till 335s. So I think 336 either way.
Holy cow.
But Lily, Sharif, Lily, I am pleased as punch. I'm going to let you talk because that is beautiful. And I'm going to put the beat button for you.
So I'm very pleased that you're killing it on that side of the desk. I'm pleased as well. We're doing quite well there on VKTX. I've exacted revenge. I got in at 80s. I've taken it out there into the 30s. So very happy with this trade. Also, IVVD. Drink with that top, boy. Give me my money, man. There we go. IVVD done this trade. We were in at 56s, took 86s. That's a lot for a dollar name. So I'm happy about that. We'll look to do a little bit better next time. Always trying to improve. Here, VKTX. Now I'm waiting at the $0.50. Show yourself. I'm still waiting there. 48s is where I'm waiting. It's showing me 44s right now, so we're going to have to pack our patience here on VKTX. Can't take out the top, and if we can't clear this level, this will be another lower high, despite the fact that we also have higher lows. So I'm packing my patience here. I feel like we could have a big boy breakout here on VKTX, but we are being met with aggressive selling into that 35 and a third to 35 and a half area, give or take. Here we go, and boom, we take out the level of there. We're gonna drop the cash right there, baby. So VKTX, happy with this trade. Let's take off that dip trade. It is no longer relevant. So keeping my eye on this bad boy. Now I've got to set up for something else. I just saw that MLGO just put a topping tail through 8. Surprise, surprise. And coming right back down, I felt that the ask here was heavy. It was a thick ask. And
were you Obi?
I know, right? He's the innuendo king, but you know, I can innuendo from time to time.
Yes, you can.
Right? Shout out to Obe. He is the one, Canope. So this one, look, it had definitely some selling there into 8s. Like you could feel that. You could kind of see by how the bid was being kept down. But look, the good news about that is, even though we rejected 8 for now, underlying that for now, we still have higher lows off that doji candle that we printed at 1225. So higher low situation coming in here. Maybe we get that higher high. We're going to have to take out that higher high at about 8.5. So we'll keep tabs on that. IVVD is continuing to go, and I have no more shares left on this monster. This is going to hit $2, guys. It's up 57% now. I didn't earmark this one as a potential big boy breakout. This one looked like it was thickly traded, especially how it was trading around that $0.0025. I felt, that there was not the kind of aggression that we're getting or that we're seeing right now with IVVD, but I couldn't be more pleased about it. So that is it. Shout out to Damian Oliveras. I see you, sir. I see you. All right, let's see what the dead one Apple's doing. It's topping, tailing over here at about, give or take, high 248s. Let's bring in the Mag 7 and have a look at Apple. So it looks like we got a bit of a double top there on the 5, right around 248.69. Is that actually 69? It is 69. 248.69. So Daryl, we got the 10 exponential on the 5 hanging around that whole dollar at around 248. So ideally, this pulls back in, and then you get that double whammy of the 10 exponential and the whole dollar level at 248, and then you get a bounce back up. That's the ideal situation. Now, keep in mind that even though Apple is strong, the market is weak as hell. The NQ is down 1.25%. The ES is down 1%, Obe? There's no reversion. There's no reversion. He's been looking for the reversion. Obe, we're down 2% on the Russ. We're down a 1.33% on the Dow. Shout out to all. Michael Noss is so funny. He's like, the kids don't look at the Dow these days. It's like, what are you, like an old man?
I pulled up the Dow because he mentioned
funny,
it.
yeah.
And the UNH sell-off, he was right. Made it
Saw
very
that?
interesting. So shout out to Michael Noss.
Shout out to Michael Noss. OG Noss boss. So guys, for real though, I'm looking for 248. 248 is incoming here on Apple. So it behooves me to get ready for it. Where the hell is Apple? There it is. Okay, so here comes 248 area. Let's see if the buying comes in and around this area. So the 10 exponential is 247.86, but the whole dollar level obviously is 248. So a nice reversion there off the top, 248.69 HOD on AAPL does seem to be finding a bit of a bid here on the whole dollar level. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to work my way in. All right, I'm going to work my way in. I'm going to. Oh wow, it's not even going to let me in, bro.
Knock on the door. Ding dong. No.
Yeah, I had an interesting animation there, but I'll leave it for after. So I'm going to wait at 248.05. It's already getting away from me, Adara, so that kind of sucks. And then I'm going to wait at 88. Why? Because the 10 exponential is in the mid 80s. So this one does seem to be finding a bid right now, right off that 10 exponential, right off the whole dollar. I'm still going to wait at 05s, zigs and zags. I'm in no trades right now, but I'm trying to weasel into Apple right now, up 1%. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, Tesla. I'm not going to lie, I was a little, I don't want to say Stressla because I wasn't Stressla, but TSLA and this 339, I don't know what it is. We broke it. We actually false broke it. I would argue we lit grabbed it a little bit here. We make a low of 338.50s. And Sharif, we do not want to stay below 339.
No, we don't.
Like, why not though? Tesla.
Good question.
Asking for a friend. Let me know. Just tell me, Tesla. But yeah, it's fine. I'm not gonna like lose sleep over it. We're chilling. We're my stop is still 340.21s. So once the clock strikes 1, I'm gonna move it to the prior bar 15.